Welcome everybody to today's stream. Hope you had a nice day so far. Let's try some new specs in the beta event, shall we? Let's have some fun. Let me set up all the things and then we can start. Today we will start with Amalgam. So if you haven't heard already, Amalgam is obviously absolutely busted in all game modes in terms of like raw damage numbers or just raw like utility it provides. I just want to like test out some solo builds, maybe try out some PvP builds, and I also want to see if just how it plays, how it feels, because I haven't tried it yet. So it's one of the few specs that I haven't tried. So I'm gonna take a look at it today. So there we go. Welcome everybody. So let's take a look at Amalgam. And I guess let's start with the power variant first. Let's take a look at the power variant and see how it feels, how fun it is. I think it uses a hammer. And then we will just try out some builds in PvE first, and then we slowly go and test out more niche game modes like PvP and soloing. So let's see. We want to run full dragons and berserker mix. Not surprising, that's like what you always do on engineer nowadays. You have easy crit capping, so I guess that makes sense. And was an accuracy, but just trying the meta DPS build. Just want to see how fun it feels, how interactive the spec in general is, and yeah, I mean, give me your opinions as well. You know, it's always interesting to see what other people think. Of course, I will try it myself and give you my take as well, but it's always important to get feedback from all the players, especially engineer mains, of course, that want to have some improvements to how it feels, how it plays. So yeah, let's look at it and take, let's say, justify our opinion a bit at least. So there we go. So we're obviously going for explosives for the maximum amount of damage. We're going for all the crit traits in there, just more damage increases. That's actually quite interesting. You just get some passive healing. I think you could also go for this one if you need more Chronic Cleanse, or if you need more protection uptime, if your support is lacking for whatever reason, you could go for Morph Skills, giving protection. Really nice. No, I'm not doing a video actually, Black Magic, just streaming and just trying out some things. And maybe if I have some good footage here in the stream, I will put it into a video. But right now it's just a stream and giving my take and explaining what I'm thinking about Amalgam. Maybe trying out some more things. No, don't worry. If I'm streaming, you are always free to ask questions in chat, give your takes. I'm always happy to chat. That's why I'm streaming after all. Yeah, Amalgam, I mean, what can I say? It's a really good spec. Don't get me wrong, I think the damage numbers will be decreased for sure, but even if it's not decreased, or even if it's decreased, the spec itself is still pretty good. That's the thing. So I personally would say Amalgam looks fun and looks good. Yeah, so I would be surprised if you wouldn't play it after the expansion launches. Yeah. So what's the last one? Yeah, that's all the offensive ones. Okay. And then you take the Evolve, recharges more skills. Yeah, makes sense. More damage. And more damage by CCing. Very good. This trait is absolutely busted as a Condi trait. This is like insane. We are trying the power version now, but this trait is like crazy. It has no ICD, so no internal cooldown, and applies all the time poison on every single Amalgam skill. So all your morph skills, all your utility skills. So it's absolutely insane. So we will get to this when we try the Condi version or the solo build or celestial build, whatever. It's always absolutely busted actually. But of course in a power build, this makes more sense. You don't want to have poison. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Amalgam is so flexible. It has amazing DPS. It can be played as some kind of bruiser build. And if you wanted to, you can even, like Black Magic puts it, you can actually make it actually even work as some kind of support. It's actually crazy. It's so flexible. I think this is the spec. This spec should have been similar to Conduit. I think Conduit, so the Revenant Elite spec, should have been like this, that you are really flexible. You can pull it in every single situation and it will perform. But Amalgam is like as flexible as it can be, while Conduit is like at the minimum amount of flexibility as it could be. So yeah, I'm really like, Amalgam looks amazing. I will try it and I will have probably a lot of fun with it, whereas Conduit is just feels a little bit lacking, to be honest. But what can you do, I guess? What can you do? Hopefully we get some help there by the developers at some point. Yeah. What's the likelihood that ANET will adjust Amalgam to be able to be a boon DPS without having to be a zero damage, full damage pure CC machine? I actually think Amalgam will be adjusted and the damage numbers will be tuned down. I'm not sure if they will adjust it in a way that you can provide permanent alacrity or permanent quickness. I think they thought about it, and the problem is that they if it would be able to permanently upkeep quickness or alacrity, they would have to make it like that it's a choice, that you can not go for quickness and alacrity. Because currently, if you could upkeep them 100%, you could upkeep alacrity and quickness 100%. That's obviously not what they want you to have. So I think it's not unlikely that they will do what you just said, but I'm not sure. At this point, I'm not completely sure what the ANET balance devs actually want the spec to be and all the specs to be. So I can't give you like an educated guess there. We will just have to see. That's my sad answer there. Yeah. Amalgam has so many working builds. Yeah, it's really creative design, and I think that's how an elite spec should be. That you have a one elite spec that feels like fun to use and has at least like 2, 3, maybe 4 builds, so that are really crazy working. Amalgam is on top of that. It has at least 4 builds, maybe even 5, 6 builds that you can play that are really working. But I think if an elite spec has 3 or 4 builds, I'm good with it. But having something that like Amalgam, where you have even more than that, it's even better, of course. For me as a build crafter, theory crafter, that's always something that I enjoy. But I'm definitely like sad that Conduit, for example, only has 1, maybe 2 working builds. That's not good enough. That's really sad. Yeah. To be fair, it does both alacrity and quickness, but offers nothing but that. Yeah, that is true, but in PvE, the damage numbers are so high at this point that you would just stack like 8 amalgams and just try to kill the boss with that, and you don't have to have any like other supports, because defensive supports are currently so broken that you can just run, so to say, offensive support or just full DPS amalgams, and you will have enough quickness and alacrity to cover that. So yeah, the current balancing is actually quite over the top with amalgam, I would say. So there will be nerfs. Don't like get your hopes up there. Yeah, exactly. I saw that the codons got one shot almost like in 10 seconds. 8 amalgams and 2 like supports. They were also DPS, but still supports, and they were just one-shotting the codons. Yeah, I saw that video as well, and that's like very like big showcase of what is wrong with the spec if you can just run like so many of them and they are just absolutely broken because they have so high numbers. I think it's fun to play, so they will just nerf the numbers and everything is somewhat good, I would say. So that's my take there. Welcome, Machivaru. Welcome. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the numbers are high, that is true, but numbers can be adjusted. I'm always someone that is like, I don't care if the numbers are too high or if the numbers are bad. I don't care. This is something that you can change. The thing that can't be changed, or at least not that easily, is that you have fun with the spec. So if the attacks feel clunky or just not fun to use or just really buggy or the traits are boring, that's a little bit harder to change than just the numbers, you know? If the attacks like this one hits like insane amounts, you know, this one hits for like, okay, 50k on a 20-second cooldown and removes the barrier. Yeah, looks pretty good, yeah? And is that broken? Yeah, probably. But do I care? Not that much. You can easily adjust the numbers on that skill. And the same goes for all the damage numbers on those skills. So they are fun. Look at this. It's a fun spec. Just spamming my abilities, not using my like correct rotation or something. Yeah, that is fun. It's a fun spec. Yeah, it's absolutely fun. I'm just spamming my morph skills, and look at this, how much damage it does. And I'm not even proccing my Bloodstone relic. So just fun, like just using the skills. And the fun thing is just pressing some buttons of cooldown and you will deal great damage. And that will probably be not the case at the start of the expansion, but nonetheless, I think it's actually very well designed, the spec, very flexible, and I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Yeah, I mean, look at this. It's really fun. And the elite skill is also cool because the elite skill is Conti and power, so it's very useful in all situations in that regard. And that's what you want. You want to have a spec that is flexible so that people that have a specific headcanon in mind, like I want to play a Conti engineer and I don't want to play mechanist, they can do that with Amalgam. So that's really cool. I like that. And yeah, look at this. It's fun to play. I like it a lot. It's just really, really flexible, and I just pressed some random buttons, you know, and it worked. It's fun spec. Definitely. I like it. It's like, we will try it later in PvP, but in open world, I can also see that build being, or that class in general being really, really strong as well. I like it. Looks good. But yeah. Let's try to be a little bit more focused on the rotation now. Or a little bit. I have no clue what the rotation is right now. I'm just trying my best here to get some high damage numbers. But this can reach over 50k DPS. So if you play it correctly, good numbers there, good numbers there. Yeah, I mean, I'm just spamming some skills and then getting over 40k openers. That's like a good showcase of what this spec can do. Really fun to use. I like it. It's fun to play, and that's enough for me to probably play it when it comes out. It's probably not a full support spec in PvE. That's not gonna happen. It doesn't have any like crazy support with boons. But yeah, I mean, just look at the skills. Just look at the skills. They look fun, you know, throwing some kind of like gear or like having this immense sword. That's just fun, you know, throwing those like needles in front of you. It's looking really fun. Look at this sword. That feels so nice to hit. And the barrier on top of that you just remove the barrier, it's insane. That's not only good in competitive modes, but also some bosses in PvE have huge barriers. You just say, it's gone. That's crazy. And then, of course, the elite skill, I really like the look of it. Let's deactivate all my weird things floating around me so that we can actually see it. So look at the elite skill. It's also looking really cool, and it feels really nice. Look at just the raw damage numbers it hits. It's just really fun. You know, it's a well-designed spec. It might actually be one of the best, if not the best, elite spec coming with this. And I'm not only talking about the numbers here. I'm just talking about how well it is designed. Yeah. Power Gamma is very similar to Scrapper gameplay-wise. Yeah, exactly. It feels quite similar. You just use your hammer skills, try to get your combos off, and of course use your hard-hitting skills, and then you try to use get your Bloodstone relic procs. It feels very similar, which is not bad, you know. It's a power engineer that has a little bit of a different gameplay loop than Scrapper, but it's very close to it, which is okay, you know. You don't have to have elite specs that are absolutely insane and different. The important part is that this is not the only build that you can play on Amalgam. You can play a Condi build, you can play some kind of bruiser build in competitive modes as well. So it's very flexible in that regard. It's not one build that is very close to another elite spec, but it's one of the builds that you can play that is somewhat close to another one. I think that's good. That's good design. Welcome, Teddy Tank. Welcome, welcome. I hope you have fun currently with your newfound main. Hopefully. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you like Scrapper, then Amalgam will be for you. Definitely. And that's good. You know, we want to have stuff like that. I think that was one of the best statements the ArenaNet developers actually made, was that they don't develop a new elite spec so that it suits every single engineer player, for example. They try to develop a new elite spec that is fun to a lot of players, but if there are not all of them in the pool that find it fun, that's okay. We want to have a new elite spec that is interesting, maybe to even players that don't play engineer at all. They think, oh, Amalgam looks so fun, I will now try engineer. That's what they aim for. They don't want to have the safety net of saying, no, we make something that is very close to the core class, to whatever we had already before, and 100% of those players will like it as well. No, that's not what we're gonna develop. We want to develop something that is actually fun, maybe to a new pool group of people. That's actually what they are aiming for. So they don't care if only like 5% of the people of Scrapper say, this spec is not for me. They don't care about those 5%. They care about getting new players or players interested in the spec. That it's a unique spec and fun to play, and new players or players that didn't play the class before try it. That's what they care about. Yeah. I mean, Chronos, I don't completely understand you. If you don't like the look of Amalgam and you are more of a Scrapper main, sure, go for it. But now we try the Condi version, and the Condi version looks completely different than Scrapper. So let me set it up. Give me a second. So Condi version, Condi Amalgam. Yeah, I mean, and just try and go for full Viper then, I guess. Copy, paste. And go for full Viper. And this is completely different. That's something that Scrapper can't do. There is a Condi 4 kit quickness Scrapper, yes, but I think that's so niche, no one plays that. I'm talking about builds that like most people are playing. Condi Scrapper is like almost not existent. So having stuff like that, yeah, that's a new, cool, interesting build. So let me set it up. Give me a second. So Bursting and Geomancy, like the classics. And let's go for full Viper and have a little bit of less DPS. That's okay. And Fractal Relic, of course. And yeah, looks good, looks good. And then we go and copy this build here. Very good. And you can see, again, explosives, firearms, just a little bit of different traits so that we get more Condi application, but the same trait lines for the most part. Yeah, I mean, it's just engineer, full DPS engineer. You use the most DPS trait lines. Again, you can change whatever you like here. This is the healing one. This is the nice Condi cleanse, so really good. This one probably not necessary in groups, so you have permanent protection anyway. Then you have more attributes on the evolve. That's quite nice. You will not take this one, but you take this one. What kind of morph skills do I want here? Probably this one, and this one. Very good. And of course you take this one, is absolutely broken. This is probably the most broken trait in all of Amalgam traits, because this doesn't have an internal cooldown. So every single attack that hits, that is an Amalgam skill. So all your morph skills, all your like the healing skill or the elite skill, every single time this hits, it applies 1 poison. So you apply a lot of poison just by running this trait. That's the crazy insane part about this. Yeah. Just failed at tenting Adina. Any tips? So Adina is really reliant on having either H's or stability so that you can block the knockbacks, and just don't move too much. You really want to avoid putting down a lot of those mines, because the mines are really annoying and deal a lot of damage. So my first tip would be have a lot of stability and H's uptime. And the second part would be not move a lot. And the last part would be trying to go for full tank gear if you can't survive any other way. So full minstrel or full giver's gear, that you are really tanky and don't get one shot. Those are my tips. Other than that, Adina is actually quite easy. It's just like understanding that the mines can hurt a lot and that the auto attack can be blocked. And if you really needed to, you can also dodge it. But the hands that spawn in the split phases, you should reflect the projectiles so that you don't get knocked down. In general, Adina is not too punishing if you know what like the projectiles and the attacks are. They're like 2 things that are dangerous. In general, like I said, try to not move a lot and try to block stuff. That's the most important part. So if you're the tank on a Chronomancer, for example, equip a shield, equip a scepter, and you will be good. If you're on other classes like Guardian or even Ranger, just try to have stability or try to sidestep attacks. That's my biggest tip. I hope that helps. I will do some kind of guides for all the raid bosses at some point, as probably with the rework of the raids and the strike missions merging and that kind of stuff. There will probably be a long series of all the encounters, but I have it in mind, don't worry. I have quick DPS Herald build, windy DPS build, electricity heal windy build, solo Condi windy build. What I enjoy the most right now is Condi Renegade. Yeah, Condi Renegade is one of my all-time favorite builds. It's really sad that it's not like the absolute best Condi build right now, but Condi Renegade, oh boy, it's such a fluid rotation. It's really fun to play. It is really like strong in terms of flexibility, you have CC, you have range DPS, you have just some self-healing in there. It's really fun. I like it a lot. It's one of my all-time favorite builds. I really hope they give it some love in the future as well. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know the problem. Maybe just make a new character and fill the second character, second engineer with your new amalgam builds. That's how I will do it. Yeah. Welcome, Taylor. Welcome. I would say Power Scrapper would be still preferred over Power Amalgam. It depends a bit. If the Amalgam has higher burst than Scrapper, then I think Amalgam might actually outperform in shorter fights, like Fractal fights or something. But if you need to have longer fights where the Scrapper might pull ahead, or you want to have the safety net of having like 150% health pool because of your permanent 50% barrier that you can get with Scrapper, then of course you go for Scrapper. So I definitely see a world where you can run both of them depending on what you actually need for a fight and what is better there. I think that's ideal balancing. You don't want to have one DPS build per class because that's just the most optimal in every single scenario. So it's actually, I think, quite likely that we will have Amalgam on specific fights and Scrapper on other fights. And that's good. That's how it should be. Yeah. Is there a Herald Spear build in open world that's good right now? So Herald in open world, if you're not trying to solo stuff, I would recommend the Condition Quickness Herald build in open world. This one is using a spear. It's really fun to use. You provide a lot of boons and have some damage as well because you're an offensive supporter. And if you want to play solo without like having any group or partners or whatever around you, any allies, you go for the full Celestial version that I have a guide on my YouTube channel about, solo build with Herald on Spear, and you will be very happy, very tanky, very fun to play. Not as strong, I would say, not close, it's quite close, but it's not as broken as, for example, Solo Windy or Solo Renegade in my opinion, because you lose a little bit of damage and a little bit of flexibility, but it's easier to use. So it uses spear and is fun. So yes, there are multiple. Yeah. Welcome, Rated. Welcome. Evoker will come later. So I'm just testing Amalgam today, and later today, in like, I don't know, maybe 1 hour or a little bit longer, I will try Evoker. Yes, I will get to it. Don't worry, I will get to it. Yeah, so if you want to solo with Celestial Solo Windy, then you can just use in open world the quickness DPS version of the, I think it's using full Viper, something like that with spear, and you have good DPS and very good boon uptime and use a spear. That's what I would use. So now let's try a little bit of Condi DPS. Let's see how it goes. Obviously, it's again very many buttons to press here. Oops. Should have a target, of course. And just try to hit everything. And let's see how it goes. This is obviously a lot of buttons to press all the time. And let's just spam some buttons, just get a feel for it and get a hang of the build. It looks really fun. Look at how much poison I do as an engineer. That's insane. Normally you don't see that on an engineer at all. So that's fun. Definitely very fun. I like it. And yeah, it's a good build. Obviously, it's a Condi build, has a little bit like longer ramp up time, not as much burst as, for example, the power version, but you don't always need to run builds that have crazy burst if you're in a longer fight. Definitely worth going for something that is also Condi focused. So yeah, I like it. I mean, it's obviously very spammy because you have so many kits, but it's fun. I like it. I like it. Yeah, looks good. I mean, obviously, don't take my numbers here for anything. That's really like, I'm just pressing some buttons, getting a feel and the hang of the attacks and stuff, how it feels, and having some fun with it, you know. Looks quite good. I like it. Very cool. And this attack is also quite interesting because if you equip this will be a stun break. So really good. And you also get some kind of like additional strike effect, and there you get some super speed. So you get actually a lot of like crazy utility by running this build. So this could be an argument for running the Condi build in some situations. Yeah, not always going for the power version. So that's good. Welcome, Nebowers, welcome. playing the amazing new Engineer Elite spec before and nerfs it to Oblivion. I think, to be honest, yes, currently the numbers are insane. It's like over 50k DPS. Yes, of course, the numbers are crazy. Even in competitive modes, it's crazy. So there will definitely be some nerfs coming to it. Yes, I get that. But I think it will still be fun after they nerfed it. And I think they will not nerf it so much that you can't play it anymore. I really expect it to be that the damage numbers are like around 48k or something. I think that's the new thing where they say this is okay for a DPS build in PvE, and if they get this somewhat similar in competitive modes, that you say, okay, this is a build that is definitely worth running, but it's not absolutely overpowered anymore, then we're golden. That's what we want. So I really think that is what the current balance team is trying to achieve. Don't take the numbers in the beta for like granted and say they don't know what they are doing. The beta is for testing. They don't care if the numbers in the beta are perfect. They don't. They will adjust them at the release of the expansion or for the release of the expansion. They use the beta test to see how the numbers turn out, how the gameplay loop looks, if people like it. That stuff is way more important. That's what they want to know. Yeah. Is that Condi full Viper's Herald with Spear better open world version than your generic power quickness DPL S build? So the thing is, I would say if you are in a group or if you are in meta events and stuff, Condi is typically worse than power builds. Why is that? Because a lot of stuff in the open world dies quite fast. Some world bosses even have higher damage taken from power DPS. So it is, in my opinion, always the better choice to go for a power DPS. Yeah, because fights might be over faster and your Condis can't ramp up, or you have some trash mobs that you kill and Condis just take over time, and whereas power damage builds have very high burst. So I would say the quickness DPS Herald with power is in easy fights the superior choice. But as soon as you need some ranged capability, the Condi version goes way higher. Why is that? Because the power version is full melee. There is nothing, really not a single attack that is ranged on the power version. So that means that you are really like, this is the thing that is holding it back, and you have to decide what you want. If you want to have the most flexible choice, go for the Condi version. If you want to have the, so to say, the best choice in most situations, then go for the Condi, for the power version, and take it like and say, okay, in 10% of the cases where I need some range, I'm a little bit like skewed, but that's just what I would say. Yeah, hope that makes sense. Welcome, Curator. Welcome. I hope they don't nerf Amalgam into the ground. No, I don't think so, actually. I think Amalgam, especially in competitive modes, I think they will not nerf it too much. I actually don't expect it to get nerfed so much that you can't play it anymore. Of course, currently it's absolutely broken, so I expect it to get nerfed a little bit, of course. But I really think it should not. No, hold on. I want to remove my conditions. So there we go. I wanted to test some solo build now as well, because Amalgam looks really promising as a solo build as well. So we want to have probably some nice healing here. It's really flexible. It's crazy. Okay, let's try for some solo builds here. Viper stats on Elementalist is actually, if you play Evoker, for example, you can run full Viper. Yes, there is a Condi Evoker that reaches currently 60k DPS or something. Yeah, definitely Viper is a good stat for that. Yeah. Welcome, Flanos. Welcome. Wants to sell the expansions, or new classes are expected to perform better than old ones? Definitely. I think that's something that is a good selling point, and if it's not too much over the top, I think that's completely fair. Thanks a lot, Trianos. Trionsus. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate the sub. Thanks a lot for your support. Yeah, but I would really say if it's in some kind of like the numbers are not crazy over the top, I think it's completely fair if the new specs are really good. If they are like absolutely broken and anything else that is not new elite spec can't be played anymore, that's bad. But if the numbers and the builds are fun to play and just slightly over the top or like really good, but maybe some other builds that already exist are better in certain situations, then I think that's good. You know, I don't want to have an elite spec coming for a new class or for a class, and that's complete garbage. No one will play it because it's just really bad. I think that would be way worse than if it's a little bit overperforming. I really think so. Because if, for example, just picking something by like choice, by chance here, if, for example, conduit number would be like 30k full DPS build, yeah, so no one plays it because the number is just really, really bad, then that will be really sad for the Revenant players. And I think they really should aim for pleasing at least most of the players with having some kind of working build for the new elite specs. So I really think that's the most likely scenario. And that's why I really doubted that Amalgam will get nerfed into the ground. It will just get a little bit of a nerf, but not too much. Yeah. Okay, so we will go for full Celestial. We are going for solo variant, of course. Then we are probably going for some strength. And some Torment. Fractal Relic, of course. Yes, yes, yes. Are there any better specs that you really dislike? I think from the gameplay perspective, I would say all of them are somewhat fun. I think from the ones that I tested so far, and I tested like, I think 66% of them so far. I will test today the last two more, and then tomorrow the last one. So I would say Conduit for me looks the worst. I don't dislike it. I just think it's the worst one. It doesn't feel as fun to play, and it's very weak in my opinion in PvE. What it brings to the table, it's just a DPS build and not really that good. So I personally think Conduit needs a lot of help. I think that's for me the one that I dislike the most. Doesn't mean I hate it, not at all. I think it has great potential, but I think it needs some help for sure. I made a full video about it on my YouTube channel, and I talked about what could be improved, what is the most likely one to get improved. So I actually hope that they are listening to at least some feedback, not from me necessarily, but from the community. And I really hope that Conduit will get released in some kind of better state, because right now it feels a little bit lacking. Yeah, that's my take there. So Tatted Tank, I think actually the nerf to the old elite specs was like last week or something. Yeah, when we got the Chronomancer nerf, we got the Mirage nerf, the Scourge nerf. This was the last balance patch that I think is like really nerfing all stuff to the ground. I think there will not be any big balance patch that nerfs stuff down. I really think that the expansion release will be the next big hit to elite specs or whatever. Maybe there will be a big balance patch coming before that. I don't know, maybe at the end of September. We don't know that yet. But if that would be the case, I think there will be no nerfs. There will be some buffs to underused specs. But I really don't see that the balance will be shook up before the expansion. I don't see that, to be honest. So I think it's more like the new elite specs will be somewhat on top when they come out, and then they will slowly be tuned down. That's what I expect a little bit more. What's the best weapon for Evoker so far? In PvE, it's typically Scepter Dagger. Scepter Dagger is like very flexible. You can run it power Condi. It's always the best option typically. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Black Magic. Exactly. Yeah, Conduit is like the design is already a little bit weird, but then the numbers are also not there, and there are no boons in there, so it just feels really weak. That's the main thing there. That's the problem. Yeah. Sadly, I just like give you my honest take there. I'm a Revenant fan, and I think Revenant is in a really good spot with a lot of solo builds, a lot of like flexible builds that you can run in all game modes, but Conduit is just not there. Conduit needs some help, and I think they will definitely give it some heavy lifting, and it will get some crazy buffs, I would expect. Yeah. No, I think there will be no nerfs to the new elite specs. No, I think the new elite specs will just like... Yeah. I think the new elite specs will just be a little bit better. I think there will be no, like, they will not say Amalgam is too strong right now, we nerf it down and Scrapper will be the best. I think there's no way that there is a DPS Scrapper outperforming the Amalgam when the expansion releases. This is like very unrealistic. I think it's more like the damage numbers of Amalgam are a little bit higher, and Scrapper has the inherent advantage of having permanent 50% barrier. And then you take whatever you need for the current situation. That's more like it. And I think that's better designed than saying, okay, we nerf it down to a number that is like in the middle between all the other elite specs that we already have, and no one is that excited to play Amalgam. So, but now let's take a look at the traits that we can choose here. So we want to go for Condi solo build on Amalgam. What can we do here? The attributes bonus is obviously really good on a Celestial build. This is obviously really good on a Celestial build. The healing is good on a Celestial build. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff here already. So... Ooh, that's also quite good, to be honest. What can we take for a solo build that actually works a lot? What could we go for? Inventions is really defensive. Alchemy gives some nice boons. Because currently the boon uptime is a little bit lackluster. What can we do? I mean, get some fury uptime. We need a lot of might. How can we get a lot of might? Strength is probably not enough to get a lot of might. We want a lot of might. What gives might? Is there something that gives might? Sadly not. This is obviously a really good one. Yeah, let's go like that and see how the damage numbers are looking in terms of might. You could easily get a lot of might by just going for the food that gives you. Yeah, but you can see here the problem is that I don't get to 25 might stacks. So that's like my damage is quite lacking. But look at the damage number, even without the might, it's actually 20k already. And I'm running full Celestial build with defenses in there. It's actually crazy. Amalgam is really strong right now. Yeah, that's looking really good. Just have to increase my might stacks and this build is like one of the best solo builds out there. So let's take a look. How can we do that? We could go for Mistburn Relic actually. That would be a fun one, to be honest, on a Condi build going for Mistburn Relic. Let's try that one because it gives you a lot of might access and some crit chance as well on top of that. What else could we go for? This one gives a little bit of might. You don't have that much might access here. So maybe we have to drop a trade line and go for something different. I like this theory crafting, yeah. I mean, this is obviously also really good, but it only gives 4 seconds of might, which is obviously not enough in a lot of situations. Oh, I also want to go for more Celestial pieces, I guess. I'm just thinking out loud here. So if you have any ideas, let me know. I'm just theory crafting here live on stream, so to say. See how it plays out. So... Yeah, tools is quite good, that is true, but if you like, tools is like, you get a lot of Condi clans, Vigor and stuff, but you will lose a lot of like damage output, and I think you still don't get enough might from running tools. I think the alternative would be alchemy. If you go alchemy, you are like golden, you get a lot of access to crazy like boons and stuff. You could easily go for HGH for having permanent 25 might, but you are quite like losing a lot of DPS for that. So I guess let's try it with this one. But it looks definitely a little bit weaker. Gain barrier when you successfully finish a combo field. Yeah, that's not that crazy. Really, HGH is probably the go-to. And then we just want to have as much elixirs as possible, I guess. Yeah, maybe this one. But the problem is you don't have access to your like tool belt skills normally. So HGH is a little bit lacking in that regard. So let's see. We have like, how many elixirs do we have like right now? Not that many, like 1. This skill is just so good. Giving you like a 7% damage increase flat. That's just really good because you can upkeep that like for probably half of the time. It's quite good. You want some range in with the grenade kit. I guess you could drop the grenade kit and go for another elixir like this one here and get some might as well on top of that. Let's just try it like that. Yeah, you could easily go for flamethrower and sigil, but I really wanted to test out something that is a little bit easy to play and not runs 3 or 4 kits, something like that. Yeah. Tools with Relic of Rivers, a lot of alacrity as well. Yeah, the thing is you don't actually need that much because you already have this skill here, and this is like almost permanent alacrity already. Like if you have the double, yeah, there we go. If you have the double evolve, this is like a skill that gives you 12 seconds alacrity, And this one has like a cooldown that gives you quite decent amount of alacrity on top of that. So yeah, you could run a Relic of Rivers to get some more alacrity, but it's actually not that necessary. That's the crazy part. You already have so crazy access to alacrity and that good stuff. So it's just look at the boons. It's just crazy. And you have permanent 25 might now. And yeah, I mean, the damage numbers are somewhat similar, but of course you have it's a little bit higher, the damage numbers, than before. And you have way higher defenses and boon uptime. So that's definitely better than the build before, I have to admit that for sure. What else can we change here? We could go for Flamethrower instead of the elixirs and say, yeah, that's probably the safer bet. I mean, we have already like 80% alacrity uptime. So, yep, quite good. We don't need the River's Relic. Yeah, looks good, looks good. Can change it a bit more and probably reach 25k if we're going for something like with food and the tryhard version of it. So definitely not Mistburn Relic anymore. That's complete overkill. Fractal is probably for sure the way to go. And maybe Flamethrower. What does Flamethrower provide? That's obviously really good. Easy quickness uptime with that one. We have another quickness skill here as well. Like, we have a lot of quickness. We could drop this as well for some more damage. What is a good damaging skill here as well? I mean, we could go for Grenade Kit on top of that and say, let's go and drop, like, go for this skill here to get some might while wielding a Flamethrower. You would lose a little bit of condi damage and expertise. There are so many choices. I really liked it about Engineer. You have really good traits in general. Like, it's really fun to try that and find a perfect, like, balance between those. Let's try it like this. Go really aggressive here and say if we still get enough might from that one. We already have the golem up. Yeah, Amalgam is crazy. Yeah, and there is also a really cool one. There is also a really cool relic that you could also consider in like really tough fights, which is called Relic of Thorns. Gain stacking condition damage when you're hit by a poisoned foe. The enemy will always have poison because you're an amalgam and you have this trait here that gives poison on amalgam skills. And that means you get 30 condition damage and maximum 10 stacks, and you can reach 300 more condi damage. That's really fun in a very long fight. That's amazing. It's really, really strong. But I think in the like shorter fights, Fractal Relics is the way to go. So let's try it like that. Which legendary spear should I go for? So I think if you go for the cheapest option, you should go for the Generation 1 one. But if you like the look of this one, you should go for the one that you like the look of. So I know you're a fashion enjoyer. So if you like the look of this, like more grounded version of a legendary that is not too flashy, you should go for this one, even though it's a little bit more expensive. I think it's way more important that you have a legendary that you actually enjoy the skin of as well, than going for the cheapest option and just using some kind of other skin that is completely fair if you're on a budget. But if you want to have a long-term goal where you also not only get convenience but also some nice skin, I personally would actually go for the second one. The first one is not bad, don't get me wrong, just saying it's not the most exciting one. So let's go, let's try it. And let's see how get some might up. And obviously I have not tested the rotation here yet, but you see I can get the damage number or the might actually quite high already. It's not perfect because I can't upkeep it permanently on 25. But surprisingly high, I would say. And it's the highest damage number that we had so far. Not sure if that's the best version though, because you have no protection uptime and your healing is way lower as well. So I'm not sure if that's the way to go yet. Not sure yet, but it's definitely so many options with Amalgam to build craft, to theory craft. It's a good number, 22k. It's not bad without food, without a proper rotation. Almost 23k. Yeah, it's good. You know, that's 23k here. Can leave that up there, I guess, for now. Yeah, the sound effects might not be the best, but I'm just like tuning down the sound effects in the game in general. Yeah. Yeah, 100% quickness uptime with Amalgam is really easy because of like you have those like skills and you don't really need other skills than like those two in the morph skills and in the evolve one. Yeah, definitely. I made an engineer and got him to level 80 with spamming the crown pavilion boss splits. I don't know how it works, and am I supposed to stick to one kid all the time? No. Typically, engineer is like you don't have a weapon swap, and if you want to get the maximum amount of utility and damage out, you typically would swap between your kits, going from your main weapon to your kit, going to another kit, going back to the main weapon or something like that. But of course, if you want to run around with a flamethrower like a crazy guy, like a maniac, don't like stop that. You can still do that. It's a strong weapon. It's really fun to use as well. It might not have the highest DPS in general, but definitely worthwhile doing as well. Just depends on the playstyle. So for example, I have a low intensity mechanist guide that doesn't use any kits and still reaches really high numbers, almost 40k DPS. So you just have to find a build that suits your playstyle. Engineer is really flexible in that regard. Yes, the generation 1 is purple. It has a purple glow to it. It's a shark that is a little bit purple. I can showcase it actually. Give me a second. I have it here as well. Kamo Okotali or something like that. That's how it looks. It's like this spear with a shark here, and it has this purple glow, and when you swing it, it also has a, I can also show it. I forgot, I of course can also use the wardrobe here. And then it has a purple glow on top of it, and it has some kind of like shark footsteps, shark fin, and this is this like a little bit of a purple glow on it. But it doesn't have the craziest effects, but if you hit a target with it, it spawns some sharks, at least underwater. And let's try it here as well with this one. Yeah, it spawns them here as well. You can see those sharks biting. This is like quite like strong effect for a legendary. So yeah, depends if you like that. Depends if you like that. Yeah, I mean, I have that one. I personally actually have like, I have it twice actually, because I want to use spear on land and want to have another underwater spear on top of that if I wanted to have that, for example. So I have 3 spears currently, like 2 of the generation 1 and 1 of this, but I personally don't use it that much anymore. It's not a bad skin, don't get me wrong. The sound effects can be a bit annoying, but yeah, it's not fitting to every single elite spec on class, I would say. It's a little bit like fishy, you know. Best new spec for World vs. World? Depends. We will see. I will give you my final take, I guess, at the end of the beta event where I tested all of them. So for now, a lot of them look strong. Amalgam looks probably the strongest for World vs. World, yeah. Yeah, I mean, then Tether Tank, that's the one for you then. Cheap and you like the look of it. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, I mean, the cool part about legendaries is that you don't need to actually spend any transmutation charges. Legendaries, all of legendaries can be transmuted for free. And of course, if you like the other legendary skin more, then you can just transmute it on top of it. It doesn't matter. So it's like, it doesn't cost me anything. But you're right, of course, it's a little bit over the top. So the Generation 2 takes a lot of time. I would say the Generation 2 is just a gold sync, but you are talking about the Generation 2 doesn't have a legendary spear, just Generation 3. So the newest Chantervals gave us the new spear, the Close, however it's called, this one. And this one takes a little bit more time to grind, or you just buy it from the TP. All the spears, the legendary spears, all 2 of them are purchasable from the TP, and they don't take that much time to craft themselves either. It's just like a gold sync most of the time. Yes, this one, if you craft it yourself, takes a little bit more time than the first one, but still, both of them are not too grindy, I would say. Don't worry, Larry said. For someone that already got a legendary backpack, do you think it's worth going for Oryx? So I personally would say if you like the skin of it, of course it's worth it. If you don't like the skin of it, I personally would say it's actually quite expensive for just like nothing. I personally think if you really use it a lot, then, or would like to use the skin on most characters, sure, go for it. It's obviously a nice fashion item. I personally have 2 legendary backpacks. One of them is Oryx. So yes, I did that. But I don't use it on all my characters because especially on some kind of humans, I think it looks not that good. But I think on Char, it looks amazing. It's made for Char, to be honest. So I think it depends a bit. But I personally would say, yeah, sure. You need some kind of goals in Guild Wars 2. And I think going for the Legendary Backpack that has a unique skin, definitely a good choice. Definitely a good choice. Okay, so let's now go for a little bit more might. I guess, do we have the might food? Because that would solve the issue instantly. I guess I don't. Yeah, it's called fried golden dumpling. I don't have that one, sadly. Very unlucky. Okay, then I have to go for a different, like, Fury. I mean, you could still go for Mistburn Relic and make, like, guarantee that we have permanent might. Because this one gives me 10-second might, so with the Mistburn Relic, this gives me, like, 20 stacks of mights permanently. That's, like, the crazy part here. And then I guess we can go for this and drop the Flamethrower and go for this one and have even more might. And we are probably good with this setup here. Do we need Fury? Not necessarily, to be honest. We have Fury here covered. Yeah, that's good. I think that's more realistic. And we already have like insane of vulnerability uptime. Yeah, I think that looks better. So just let's try it a bit. Let's spam some skills here and see how it goes. But yeah, I think that looks quite promising, to be honest. I like it. Very good build. Like, in general, Amalgam, really cool theory crafting going on here. Very fun to play. I like it a lot. Obviously, if you don't use your Evolve, then you lose a lot of boons. But if you use your Evolve, look at this. I get like almost all the good boons. Very fun to play. And very, like, I have a lot of self-sustain in the kit as well because of my passive heals and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely good build. Let's try a little bit with the sustain, see how it looks. But I have this trait that gives me some healing. I have the... Oh, I don't have Big Boomer. I could go for Big Boomer as well. For some passive healing. So many options. Really fun to play. Your opinion on the Ritualist? So I think Ritualist... Oh, what can I tell you? I think Ritualist is a spec that is designed for people that want to be Minion Mancer or that want to have a core Necromancer with a bit on top of that. I personally don't really enjoy minions in Guild Wars 2 in general. It doesn't matter if it's Necromancer, Elementalist, Ranger, whatever. I'm not the biggest fan of that, so it's not a spec designed for me. But I personally think it looks quite fun to play. I will try it tomorrow in tomorrow's stream. So today is Amalgam Day and later it's Evoker. And tomorrow we will try Ritualist. But yeah, I personally think it's quite good. Best meta events for gold? Yes, already on my to-do list. As a tier list, actually. I wanted to make a big tier list where I rate every single meta event and showcase how much gold you could expect in a typical run of the meta event, for example. And then not rate it necessarily how high the gold is, because that's obviously quite boring if you just know all the numbers and just sort them and depending how high the gold per hour is. I will also like include my opinion how fast you can do it, how easy, how accessible the event is and that kind of stuff. So definitely on my to-do list. I can't promise you when I will get to it because currently the beta is going on, so I have a lot of stuff to talk about the beta event. And then of course when the beta is over, starting on this Saturday, so if you're interested in that, I will start my Zero to Hero journey. So I will do a brand new account in Guild Wars 2 and start from scratch and just try to get the one legendary item before one legendary weapon actually, before the expansion comes out. So that's the Zero to Hero journey that I set myself a goal. Let's see if I can do that in 2 months. And I will try to stream almost everything on stream. So will be interesting. But I will try to get some like videos like this tier list for the meta events coming as well. Don't worry. Yeah, I'm trying my best. I've been a PvP only player for 5 years, just got all the Living World seasons recently. Curious how you decide what PvE content you want to do. So I would say do what you actually think is like fun to you. Try out getting to go to new maps that you just bought. You know, Living World has a lot of new maps. Try them out, look at them. Try maybe if you like the story, go for the story. Do the Icebrood Saga strike missions, they're really fun. All the good stuff, like just find what you like in PvE. Just explore and look at my streams, look at my YouTube content, and I'll have guides for it probably, and you just find something that you find interesting and you can continue there and maybe grab, for example, the legendary amulet or the other one, the Prismatic Champions Regalia, this one, or you can go, for example, for Aurora or Vision. You can go for legendaries in the open world, so to say, and just farm them there. Those are Living World Season 3, and this one is Living World Season 4. So there is a lot of stuff to do. Just find something that you enjoy doing and keep at it. And of course, you can still play PvP. Okay, so I wanted to try some PvP with this spec. And let's go in there and check it out. What legendary do you mean? Tether tank? What kind of what are you talking about? Then I can give you more input on that. So let's swap back to the build that I wanted to use. Yep, that's good. No, my build is gone. Okay, so what do we want here? I guess I go for... Oh, this is a good one. This is good. This is good. This is really good in PvP though. Yes, I'm obviously planning on making a Luminary video as well. I'm going over each elite spec and I will do a video about them. So don't worry, Luminary will come soon. Yes, Luminary will come soon. Just takes a while, of course. I can't get all of them all at once. Yeah. So I'm not completely sure about the specifics of the Zero to Hero journey yet. I'm still trying to figure stuff out and think about what I want to set myself, the goals and stuff. But personally, I think it's will be interesting how I will approach it. I think a lot of content creators, or at least some of the Guild Wars 2 content creators, did a Zero to Hero journey already. And I think I will do quite a different approach. I will try to be quite efficient. I will try to use my knowledge to be very fast in specific ways. And hopefully that helps players that want to reach specific goals fast as well as with a fresh account. So that's my goal. I don't want to do something that like 5-10 other content creators already did and just try to do exactly the same. I want to give you my personal approach to it. Doesn't mean it's the perfect one, but it will definitely be interesting, I would say. So this one is good. This one is good. What do we want as well? The puddle is good, of course. I guess the nade kit is good and this is good. So those are the skills. Then we want to have the protection one, I guess. Which one is the one that gives you the strain enhancement directly? Ah, this one. This is just so good. You have to use that, to be honest. It's also really good. Oh, there's so many good ones. That's such a good spec. So many good traits and stuff in there. Do we want that one? Or do we want something more? There are so many good ones. This one is fun as well. Maybe we just use the big sword just because we can. Let's try it as well. Let's try it. So what kind of traits do we want? That's good. That's good. It's really aggressive, but let's try it like that. It's really nice. I don't know if I want to run tools though. Maybe we run alchemy. Let's go for alchemy for some If you don't run any elixirs, alchemy feels bad. Maybe inventions? No, I think it's actually explosives. We go full aggressive with this one. Full aggressive. Let's do it like that and just try and have some fun. So let's catch up in chat. Give me a second. So the idea is that I go from 0 to getting a legendary. Yes, that is the idea. Let's see if I can make it work in 2 months, because obviously I don't want to like no life and just play 8 hours a day, because then it's easily doable. I just want to make it somewhat reasonable and approaching it with a mindset of someone that just started the game and don't want to say, oh, just play in 2 months, just play, I don't know, 1k hours and you will be good, because that's not helping anybody. I want to make it more efficient and make some nice videos about it as well. But the idea is here, yeah. Yeah, that's the idea, yeah. Kind of an off-topic question, but how long until the actors are cheap again? Oh, that's a good question, but I think typically they take a while to drop down. I would say they will be cheap probably shortly before the expansion releases. They will be somewhat cheap again, but when the expansion releases and there will be some heavy ecto requirements in the new legendaries, then they might spike again. So I'm not sure if they will ever go down to the prices that we had before Festival of the Four Winds with 25 silver per ecto. I think it could go down to 35 in the next 2 months. That's realistic, but we will see. Maybe it goes down faster, but I could expect it go up as well again with the expansion. So my idea. I want to get started on a legendary. There's just so much stuff going on. What should I go for first apart from armor? So I would say I have a full tier list about what you should get first, but it depends a bit if you only play a single character, if you only play a single game mode. I would personally say going for the free legendary amulet is a good thing, because in the meantime you can save some gold and you get the free legendary amulet. So amulets are quite good. You can use it on all characters, so that's a good thing to do. But that's just my take there. I have a full tier list on my YouTube channel, what kind of legendary item you should go first, depending on what kind of like player you are. Maybe you should check that one out as well. I don't know what I will do with the account after. That's just like, it's like a content creation account. I don't care actually about the legendary item itself or the account. I just want to give some more content. And obviously I can't do that on my current account. That's the idea. Do you think Paragon is playable heal if camping just staff? Yes. I think it's a worthwhile healer with just staff, especially in competitive modes. But I think it loses quite a lot by just scamming staff, because you really want to swap your weapons to get adrenaline, to get your martial cadence up and that kind of stuff. So I think it's definitely worth playing, but not as good as you might actually want it to be. Yeah. Especially if you drop the Warhorn. The Warhorn is also a really good support weapon. Perfect, perfect. You're working on it. That's the good thing. So let's see what we can do here. It's a short bow amalgam. Hey, that's a lot of cooking going on here. There are a lot of people on me. That's not good. Not good. I mean, I did a decent amount of damage here. That's the good part. No, they will rally. I mean, my team got like... Why are we here? This guy is capping. Good. Classic PvP moment, you know? 2 teammates die in a 2v3 and the last person is standing there. We actually could have won that fight. That was actually crazy. I have so many defenses, even though I'm like a full offensive build. I have no defensive trade line. That's the crazy part. Can I hit the sword? No, sadly not. Ooh, that's a lot of damage. And a lot of CC. Stop it. No, they got me. I mean, that's sad, but it's a fun spec. I like it. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to play, Let's check if I have the correct settings. Yeah, looks good, looks good. Yes, full 0 to hero 0 starting on Saturday. So I wanted to start tomorrow, but with the delay or with the like beta event being moved a bit back, I will start it a little bit later as well. So the idea is starting on Saturday. This Saturday I will start, yes. Oh, this guy is so dead. Ooh, he pots on me. Nice. Stop it. No. This is such a good skill. Holy moly, this is so good. Look at the condis. I really like this kind of playstyle. It's really fun, to be honest. Just I'm playing a power build with condis. It's really fun to play. I like it a lot. Okay, they have the support now here. Or is it even support? I don't even know if that's a support. No, it doesn't look like a support. No, I didn't crit. Oh no. Didn't crit here. Have to play it safe here though. Oh, that unblockable. No. Now we can go back in. Go greedy. Oh, they did dodge all my attacks. Now I'm dead, I think. Sad. Sad. Was fun though. Was fun. Was fun. Good damage here. Do you have a Spear Vindicator build I can use? If you want to play open world, Spear Vindicator is really good, yes. I would not recommend playing Spear Vindicator in like groups or in competitive modes, maybe, but I think in PvE I would use it as a solo build. I have a YouTube, you can just type !builds on my Twitch chat if you want to have any builds, or on YouTube you can just scroll down in the description of the stream and there is a list of all my builds in a spreadsheet. You can just check that one out there. I can't get the rest there. Oh, let's get some healing pre-heal up. No, I can't do this. What is this guy playing? He's playing with an X or something. That was a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Yes, we get the rally here. Nice, we get the block again. And we should be out. Oh, there are two people here. That's a little bit dangerous though. Living on the edge here, living on the edge, definitely. Going back in. Of course we go back in. Okay, going on this. Oh, they hit Shocking Aura. That's Shocking Aura is like really bad with this elite skill, to be honest. Because I permanently hit that all the time. Can't interrupt it anymore after I cast it. Nice, we got the counter kill. Get some block up. And get the healing out. Get some dodging. Get some barrier. Get the kill. It's fun. It's really good spec. It's a really skillful spec because you are really squishy with this build specifically, but really good damage output and has some range in it as well, which is obviously always a good thing. This skill is so broken. Holy moly! You will just like receive almost no power damage. You get like super speed almost. You get a stun break and you remove your conditions. Like what? It's so good. It's so good. There are so many good skills on this spec. It's crazy. It's crazy. I will catch up on chat after this match, yeah? So don't worry. I will get to your questions. Ooh, that's a lot of condis, to be honest. No, it's dead. That's okay. It's a really good healing skill as well on top of that. Look, I'm tanking their attacks here. I'm tanking the attacks because all of them are misses. Yeah, so wow, you do no damage to me because you miss all your attacks. Nice. Fun build, definitely. Whoa, that was a lot of damage. Get the rally here. There's another player lying there, and there's someone stealthing. Okay. That was fun. Fun match. Obviously really broken spec, but fun to play. Fun to play nonetheless. Okay, let's catch up on chat here. Condi builds are just more consistent. Yeah, Condi builds have tend to be a little bit easier to play than power builds. Power builds are often very burst intensive, and you really want to have the burst down and have to have a lot of button presses in the beginning, and then it drops down after a while. Whereas in Condi builds, typically you don't have to spam your buttons as hard, and they are ranged typically and have sometimes easier rotation to learn for sure as well. Yeah, good point. There's also a legendary weapon starter kit in the Wizard's World, which can make legend crafting much quicker and cheaper. Yeah, for sure. That's like one of the things that can help a new player getting a legendary very, very fast. Yeah, just getting the legendary starter kit from the Wizard's World here for 1000 Astral Acclaim is really, really easy, so to say, to get, and you have half a legendary already done. So that helps a lot for sure. The build is really nice, but I didn't think it was that challenging. Yeah, I mean, sometimes builds are challenging to a big chunk of the player base, but maybe for you actually enjoy this specific play style. You don't care that it's maybe button mashy, maybe you like are talented with this specific rotation. Sometimes just try it out, and maybe some kind of hard labeled build is not really like that hard at all. So yeah, just give it a try and you will have some fun, I guess. Yeah. I just wanted to thank you once again for all the help. No, don't worry, Tedded Tank. I'm always happy to help. You know, I'm a content creator. I want to create content for you to help you have more fun at the game. And if you enjoy and are entertained by my stream on top of that, I'm perfectly happy. So don't worry. Always happy to hear that. Yeah, the problem is that the rival is like on a Mesmer. If you want to play any support Mesmer, like support Mirage, support Chronomancer, support Troubadour coming up, like the rival is like the weapon you want to use. You know, it's like the best choice that you can do. Why is that? Because it has everything in there. It has barrier, resistance, a teleport, healing, boons, like clone generation, CC. There is nothing in the kit of the rival that is missing. Yeah, so get Soto at some point and get this rival if you want to play a like Chronomancer or Mirage or Troubadour as a support. That's just like, get it at some point because it's really, really helping. That's just the point, yeah. Welcome, Arthur. Welcome. Welcome, Roaming Spirit as well. Yeah, it's really strong. Amalgam is really strong in all game modes. Really crazy high DPS numbers in PvE. Really fun to play in PvP. Really like cool animations in my opinion. Like look at this like puddle. I really like that. Just really fun. Looks like it's some kind of like Vladimir meets T-1000 of Terminator, something like that. Yeah, I like it. Or the sword, like, really cool skills. I like it. It's fun. I'm just trying some builds here and just try to have some fun and find something that is actually like very interesting to play. What can we do here? Because the sword was not carrying me, to be honest. The sword was not the thing that was like good enough. Maybe we can get some. This one is too aggressive, to be honest. Were the traits good in this? I mean, I was playing so aggressive. I had no defensive traits. That's like, no defensive traits. Let's go. Let's do it again. Was fun. So, use a stance skill or evolve. So you get some Condi cleanses there. You have actually a decent amount of Condi cleanses with this. I mean, you could go more Bruiser Reap and drop some damage here and go for some more tankiness with Alchemy maybe. But you have no hate. This is like completely like maybe tools. No, not tools. Maybe we go for inventions, get some protection. No, I don't have any shield. Yeah, you don't have that much protection in the build anyway. Yeah, it's really tough. It's really tough to make a bruiser build out of that, because I think the traits just don't support you that well. That's the sad part here. I really wanted to play this, but it just feels like you lose a little bit of like your value if you don't go full aggressive with the traits, because you already have so crazy defensive skills in there. So I think that's the way to go it. No, I'm always happy to help. Always happy to help. Yeah, I mean, I'm also like with you there, Vesha. Veshai. I also think watching people that are really knowledgeable about stuff that they're actually talking about is really amazing. And I'm not including myself here. I know a lot about the game, but I'm not by any means being the best PvPer, the best PvE player. I'm just someone that enjoys the game. I know a lot about it, but I still have a lot to learn. And yeah, if you have any questions, I try to answer them all the time, but I can't guarantee that I know everything and can give you the perfect answer. So sometimes if you have a question, I might actually give you an answer that says, I don't know. I don't know the perfect rotation for the ML game right now. I don't know it by heart. So stuff like that. And I think it's completely fine. We are all learning at some point. And if my stream helps you get better, perfect. If not, that's too bad. Let me know what I can improve. That's my whole mindset here. Is it wrong that I feel more comfortable with longbow on Dragon Hunter than with spear? No, I think that's actually like a lot of people have that issue, or not issue, but have that feeling that the spear is somewhat of a little bit more complicated weapon than longbow. Longbow is a ranged weapon that is very straightforward, like 4 skills, very easy, no combos in there. Just use them, you will succeed. On spear, if you use the skills with the wrong order or use them like out of sync, you will lose a lot of damage and a lot of utility. So spear is way more complicated. So I think that's just a normal thing. So if you don't like spear, play longbow and greatsword. Greatsword is always a must on Dragon Hunter. But if you want to learn something new, go for spear. It's worthwhile learning it as well. So that's my point there. Yes, Cyril. Yes. What got you into content creation? So I started almost exactly a year ago with content creation. And my idea was I'm playing a lot of video games, especially Guild Wars 2. And over the years, I actually have a lot of knowledge like gathered and just had a lot of fun getting to this point. And I thought, why not make content for people so that I actually can use my time to help others having fun in the game as well, help others to get understanding the game, because I really think Guild Wars 2 is a great game, and I think that more people should play it. And if I can help more people getting into the game, I mean, that's a win-win situation. And I actually really enjoy the process of making videos specifically. So that's what I do all the time. I stream a lot. I like streaming as well, but not as much as I could, because I'm putting a lot of effort in my YouTube videos. So that's the whole like content creation journey of me is like, oh, this guy's a little bit pressured. Maybe we can help them. Block. Get some damage here. Oh, this guy's pulling out. Let's get some damage here. And block a little bit and get some damage again. And we should get the kill here. Nice. This guy's in rampage now. That's not ideal, to be honest, but okay. Hopefully we get the kill before that. No, we don't, but we might get a kill on the other two here. Nice, we did. 1 kill. And we should get the kill here again. This was an instant fear. That's good, because now we can free cast on this guy. Very good. We got the kill. Get some barrier. Go in the puddle form. Just cleave them down. Just try to survive here a little bit longer. Yep, we are good to go. Yeah, nice. I mean, the warrior died way too fast, but we got it in the end. And it's absolutely even, the match. That's insane. That's insane. Let's help our teammates here. I will catch up in chat after this match, so don't worry if you have any comments here or whatever. I will read it after this match. This guy's just ignoring me, I guess. Fine. Okay. Dodge this. Get some CC, get the... This is like Luminary. I'm not completely like sure how to play against the Luminary yet. I have not played against that many Luminaries, to be honest. I think that should be a kill now. I have a lot of damage on them now. Yep, there we go. And just trying to get the 101 here. It's actually crazy. You do so much damage and you have so many defenses with those skills, like all your utility or morph skills here are actually also defenses. 3, 2, 1. Dodge. Get some... Nice, we got the kill. And maybe get... What was this pull? It was a very long range pull. That's actually crazy. Some healing out. Some stability. I can't get the rest. I have to get the counter kill here. That's the only thing that works. Oh, not enough. This guy is channeling. Okay. You really want to get the orb, I guess. Sure. Hope that's worth it for you. Okay, let's try to get this Mesmer with a greatsword. Looks like an easy target. Okay, has the invulnerability skill. That's a little bit sad. And the reflect on the invulnerability. That's also even sadder. Let's try to get... This guy will probably port on me very soon. Let's block this annoying spirit. Okay, let's call down the artillery and get some CC going. And okay. Yeah. Ooh, that hurt. The grenades hurt. If you land all 3 grenades, that hurts. And CCing. Sad. They dodged everything. The melee grenades are amazing. I like it. The nades are really like, if I'm standing on top of them, I will hit all 3 of them almost instantly. Ooh, that hurts. That hurts. Give some elite skill and get some damage out. Yes, I know my elite skill resets my cooldowns a bit, but I really want to get a lot of damage out with the stability on top of that. That was a nasty Condi damage burst. Touch the CC. Nice. Ooh, it's a fun spec. It's a fun spec. What can I tell you? Really strong. This guy has almost always invulnerability up. It's actually... What is this? Or they are dead. Classic Virtuoso gaming. Perma-invuln until they are not and they are dead. Okay, let's go in. Nice, we got the emob. Just in time. And get the kill. Ooh, my teammate is again dying. We have to go. Yeah. I'm helping. I'm coming. Oh no. I think they are dead again. They are running in the wrong direction. That's not good. Oh, nice. They came in the right direction after all, but now they might be dead anyway. Some block up, and this resets my block, so I can just block again. It's so good. So much defense is in this kit. It's crazy. Look at this. I'm 3 people and 2 of them are 25% health. It's crazy. It's really good. It's a good spec. What can I tell you? Good spec. Be sure to give it a try until it comes out in like 2 months, so 2 more days, and then you have to wait 2 more months after that. So really good spec, and it might not be even as strong anymore. So good one. So let's see. There's 2 people. My Paragon is again almost dead. Let's go in. The elite skill also has such a short cooldown. It's actually crazy. Give some stability and spin. And oh, the fear ring is a little bit annoying. It's okay. This guy is also annoying me. Standing on top there. No, my teammate died. This is such a good skill. It just hits behind the wall. It's so good. Spear is so good. It's crazy. This skill, the flip over skill, nasty. Can I tell you? Engineer, Amalgam looks like a really good spec for PvP. I can't like stress that enough. I think even if they nerf the numbers down a bit, or they give it, if for example give this trade an internal cooldown, I still think it looks like a very good spec. I really think so. Yeah, Longbow 2 is like really strong or in general Longbow is a really strong competitive weapon, but in PvE Longbow is like the ranged option, whereas Spear is the higher damage option in a lot of cases. So Longbow is just like if you need range you go for it, but there are cases where actually it's worthwhile running Longbow even in some kind of high DPS scenarios. Okay, standing in 3 people here. Ah, that was good. How much damage did I do? Not bad. Almost 40% team damage. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, I think Spear on Guardian is not for everybody. I think Spear is like, after it got nerfed, before it got nerfed, it was like just spam all your buttons and it will be broken. But after it got nerfed, Spear on Guardian in all game modes, it's now way more of a build where you have to say, okay, does it work now? Is it now good? Because if you just spam your buttons, it might not work out that well. So it's really like, this is what I think a weapon should be. You should not just spam the weapon skills and it's like, works perfectly fine. I think that's good that Spear got nerfed down a bit, but of course I can see why you would not run it. I think it's really combo oriented, definitely. How much Astral do I get for opening the main weekly chest from the Wizard's Vault? Let's check. You get 450. That's how much you get from the weekly. Yes. So quite a lot, quite a lot. I follow other streamers, but you seem to be the only one so far who went in depth on Troubadour in this beta. Yeah, I think Troubadour is like a spec that feels quite fun. I really wanted to make the comparison between like how I play Troubadour as a support and how I would play Chronomancer as a support and see what kind of strength and advantages each of them have. So I really wanted to put that video out quite soon. But like I said, I will go to all other elite specs as well. So Amalgam is done for today. So now let's take a look at Evoker. Yeah, Evoker is obviously a class that a lot of people wanted to see how it works. So let's take a look at Evoker and let's see what we can cook up here. And just try out different builds, have some fun. So Scepter Dagger is the way to go for damage. That's just how it goes. And let's equip all the legendaries again and see what kind of build we're starting with. And I have 2 builds that I want to try out. I want to try the Power Evoker and I want to try the Condi Fire Locking Evoker, where you only use fire skills. So the Fire Wizard, so to say, the real Fire Wizard. I want to try this one as well. But let's see how we get. Have you decided on a spec to play for Zero to Hero? So my idea for Zero to Hero is that I will play a spec that is useful in all situations. So if I start out, of course, to level the character, but I also want to play the character in different content, and especially fractals are a really good way to get gear. And if you only play, for example, DPS, then you are locking a little bit yourself into having to find a group where DPS is needed. So I really want to play a spec that is viable with all, like, somewhat the same gear to be played in a support scenario while also being played in a DPS scenario. So I'm not completely sure yet But I know that I might play two characters, one of them in PvP and one of them in PvE, because I really think that PvP is a good way to get some access to Tomes of Knowledge, for example, which I can use to get some spirit shards, which I can then therefore use to get the legendary. But I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. I will tell everything in a lot of detail when I start on Saturday. And if you can't join on Saturday, don't worry. I will, of course, do multiple streams. It takes a long while. That will be probably the rest until the expansion comes out. Will be all my streams 0 to hero. And then I will cover it in a very concise, edited form. Each week, 1 or 2 videos or something like that on my YouTube channel about 0 to hero, my journey. Put it down in a short video as well. So there will be a lot of things. Yeah. Too much F skills on everything. Only Elementalist and Ranger is fine. I don't know. I feel like Conduit lacks the F skill. I think, to be honest, I might be with you there that there are a lot of F skills, but I think Conduit needed one more. I actually think Conduit is a class that needed one more F skill to be actually like good. I don't know what it could be, how it would look like, but I really think that it would be better. I think it would be better if it would have more like F skills. That sounds like crazy, but I really think that would help the class to have one more skill that makes it a little bit more unique. I don't know how the skill, what the actual attack would be and how it would work, but I really think that would help. Yeah. But I think, for example, Amalgam has obviously a lot of F skills. It's an engineer skill. They always have that engineer class, but yeah, I mean, there is always some criticism with the new elite specs. You can't get it perfect. That's just like impossible. There will always be someone that says, nah, that's not good, it's not fun. That's just how it goes. I accept that. I try to make constructive criticism and say, okay, this is like feeling a little bit bad. Maybe change the cast time, change stuff like that. Stuff that they can change. I don't want to give some criticism of something like the game mechanic or the new, like saying, or Antiquary, the class fantasy doesn't fit to Thief. Yeah, that might be true, then maybe don't play it. But the thing is, they will never change the class fantasy of Antiquary. Yeah, that's just not gonna happen. So let's now try this is the first one that I want to try. And the second one I want to try here is the power version. Just playing with a lot of power damage and full Berserker, I think. Some Assassin's pieces. Wait, I have to be careful. I don't want to override my work that I just did. There you go. Berserker, Dragon Hunter, Rune. Just setting up some stuff and then I can play the build here. And try and see how it works, how much fun I have with it, and then I will obviously try some builds in PvP as well. Oops. Imagine if we walk ahead a shroud for every element. Yeah, that would be insane. That would be crazy. Welcome, Knocker, welcome. If you have any question, let me know. I mean, I'm always happy to answer new players' questions. So just ask, don't be shy. We also have a Discord server. You can join that one as well. There will be also answers when I'm not streaming, of course. So just find people that can answer your questions either on stream, on my Discord, and you will be good as a new player. So we need how much? We just check all the boons and then we check how much of the. We need a little bit more crit chance. A little bit more. Oh, we also want to go for Berserker here, of course. Makes sense. And Assassin's Boots. Just let me set it up so that we get the perfect crit rate here. And there we go, Arcane Familiar, and now we're almost there. Little bit more. Maybe this one. There we go. Perfect, 100% crit rate, that's what we want. Now we can spawn the golem and just check out how much damage we do. I don't know the rotation, so please bear with me. I just want to see how it plays, how the attacks feel, how much fun it is. And yeah, I mean, it's a classic. You reset your air attunement even though you're not playing fresh air. You have the air hair, so you get to reduce the cooldown of your air element to 1 second all the time. So you can swap in air, go in another element, swap back into air. That's really cool. That's the whole rotation. It's really fun build in general. It plays a lot of like classic power DPS. Let's see how it goes. Ellie is the best for 0 to hero. I'm not sure. Mesmer could be good. Elementalist could be good. Guardian could be great. Even Necromancer. I think there are many versions. I think I will see how I feel on that specific day when I start, or maybe make some ideas what I can start playing. And yeah, we will see. We will see. I don't want to spoil too much. Yeah. That's why my engineer is a mech. And F skills on autocast. Yeah, I mean that explains why you like mechanists. Yeah, you can autocast your F skills. It's not a lot of classes that can do that. Yes, you can only take Spear if you have Chancer Waltz. Chancer Waltz is the expansion that is required to get access to Spear. Yes. I spent the last week watching so many of your builds. Thank you so much for all your videos. Don't worry, yeah, there are more to come, so I'm very happy that you enjoy them, and yeah, I hope you can enjoy the future ones as well. So let's try it out. Let's see a little bit of the damage here. And let's just try to use some skills here. And always swapping to air, get the air hair going. This has no, this is an instant cast attack, the air hair, but the other attack, how is it called? The empowered one has a cast time, so you have to be a bit careful there. But you can see the damage is actually quite good. The damage is quite good, definitely. And I'm just like spamming skills at this point, you know. If I would be like a bit more advanced in my rotation, you could see how this build is definitely way more fun and higher damage numbers. It's fun to play for sure. Very fun actually. It's very, wait, I have the wrong. No, I have the right one. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So I actually like this design. It's for people that don't want to have that they want to have a little bit of a core elementalist vibe with having not to play like Tempest or something like that. You can easily have a really fun spec here with how it feels here on the Evoker. Yeah, you just get one more button, like Roaming Spirit earlier put it. It's just one more button. That's it. That's the whole how you play this spec, and it's almost like Catalyst in that regard, but it's definitely changing it a bit more because the attack is definitely, or the traits and how the build plays is way more different than you would typically expect on just a single button press because of the traits, because of how your familiar works, the mechanic works. I liked it actually quite a lot. It feels quite fun. Obviously, I'm completely like the rotation here was completely skewed, but you could easily see, you know, just pressing some buttons, I get 37k or 36.5k without food. Yeah, I mean, and infusions, of course. So good spec, good spec. For the damage numbers, Evoker looks quite good. Yeah, I will also try a water heal only build. I will get to that later as well. Yes. So if I can somehow buy the new expansion, I would probably only play Evoker or Gale Shot. The rest does have too much F skills. That is fine. You know, that is fine. That is a fair criticism. I personally tried like Gale Shot quite a bit and I liked it a lot. Gale Shot was really fun to play for me because it's really like you have perfect kit, you know, that you can always equip. You don't have to use a utility skill, like for example on Engineer, where you have to equip a specific kit and you have to use a utility slot for that. On the Gale Shot, you have a kit that you can always equip. It's a really strong kit. It is really flexible, useful in all situations, but it's only power. So if you like to play a Condi range up, this is not gonna work, but I personally like the Gale Shot a lot. But like I said, I have videos about all of the elite specs and my specific thoughts and my criticism about all of them on my YouTube channel, and all the ones that I test today and the ones that I want to test tomorrow, I will do guides about or videos about them on my YouTube channel very soon this week as well. And then I will obviously do some kind of like summary, what kind of specs I think is more surprising, and I changed my opinion after the beta event. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. Thanks, Ray. Thanks, Ray, for the Prime. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for your support. But it seems you have to be a pianist for Elementalist. Yeah, Elementalist is like, at least this specific build has a lot of button presses. But now we swap to the other one. The other one is a Condi build. And it is... Let me please swap. Why can't I swap? I want to swap. It doesn't let me swap. That's interesting. Let me swap. No, it doesn't. Okay, give me a second. I want to swap my familiar. Why doesn't it let me swap my familiar? Okay. There we go. Okay, apparently you can't swap while you have the empowered trait on. Okay, okay. Or the empowered skill up. Interesting. Interesting to know. So I wanted to swap, and now I don't have to play piano anymore because I swapped to the specialized elements version. So I can't swap my elements at all. I'm locked into fire. I'm pressing my F2, it doesn't work. So I'm now swapping to focus as well. Focus. And what kind of thing do I want? Give me a second. Focus and Earth Sigil. And of course again Viper stats. And let's try it, how it goes. Yes, 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 looks good, looks good. Recommend any easy boon DPS? I would say if you want the easiest boon DPS, Quickness DPS Herald is the easiest. You just press 3 skills and then auto attack. That's about it. It doesn't have the craziest damage, but it's really fun to play. If you just want to upkeep boons, you want to help your other support, keeping all the boons like protection and stuff on top of that as well. So I think Quickness DPS Herald is the easiest support, but I can also imagine going for Alacrity Mechanist. There are so many builds that are actually somewhat easy to play. You just have to look for a low intensity build, like for example, low intensity Quickness DPS, unload Deadeye. You just spam 1 skill, reach 27k DPS, and have permanent quickness for your subgroup. There are so many good builds that have very low intensity and upkeep the boons. You just have to look for them. So you can type !builds in my Twitch stream, or scroll down in the YouTube description, and I have guides in the spreadsheet. They are for all my builds that I have, and you can just find some for the specific class that you like, and you will probably have a low intensity build there for boon support as well. Yeah. Does a low intensity quick DPS cutter build exist? Not really. The problem is cutter is always very spammy. Like making a low intensity cutterless build is like almost impossible, but it might exist in terms of like full DPS, but as soon as you want to have quickness, you have to swap attunements as a catalyst. Why is that? Because a catalyst needs to swap to all attunements to get all the spheres out to upkeep permanent quickness. If you can't do that, you will not have permanent quickness and you are like not filling your role. So a low intensity build would like not work in that scenario. So Catalyst is sadly not really like possible as a low intensity build. It might be a spammy, easy build to play, but it's still high APM. That's just how Catalyst works, sadly. Yeah. Yeah, Dagger Offhand works quite well as well, but I want to run this one because don't forget, you charge your familiar skill by using a text in the specific attunement, so in fire, and this is an instant cast skill that has a low cooldown, and so I can cast it while using, for example, my auto attack, and I will charge my basic skill here, and I have another flip over skill that I can use again, so you have actually 6 skills here that you can actually use to charge your familiar. That's why focus is quite good here. So let's see how it works, how it goes, but in general you just press your attacks on cooldown and don't try to interrupt your conflagration here. That's the main thing. That's about it. So let's see how the damage of this one looks. And just pressing all my skills off cooldown here. And then resetting my skills again and just spamming them again. Yeah, it's who would have thought? It's probably a good build. Probably a good build. And so easy, you know, look at this. I'm just using my skills of cooldown, yeah. Getting 40k DPS, you know, just spamming them. I'm not even like good at this build. I don't even know what the rotation is, to be honest, you know. At this point, I'm just using all my skills all the time. And let's see how high I can push it if I play it a little bit better. And I, of course, don't even have food, so keep that in mind as well. I just play it with the basic setup here. Okay, this looks promising. Let's put some food on and let's see how this one works with food and like just using like the normal build, like without any training, not looking. Oh my god, I'm sorry guys, it crashed. It crashed. I will be back in a second. It was too much. The damage was too high. The game just said, nope, that's not gonna work. Yeah, I can imagine a water-only healer being actually decent. I actually can imagine that. But the problem is water-only, in general, all Elementalist builds, for me, have the big problem if you're locking yourself into one attunement and you're not playing a DPS build, then it feels like you're missing out on like at least 50% of your defensive skills as well. So that's why I would say, yes, it might be some kind of decent build, but it might not be meta anyway, because it's like you have no flexibility. It's a, so to say, a low intensity build that you have there, but yeah, it misses a little bit of like the potential of it, if that makes any sense. So Condi build and Condi food, and we should be good. Let's try it now again. Condi Cutter isn't low intensity because of swapping attunements, but there's a lot of downtime and it's way simpler than Power Cutter. That is true, you're right there. You might not have the highest amount of overall APM, so actions per minute, that you have there, but I think Catalyst in general is like a spammy spec. It's really like, it is not made for being low intensity in that case, because you always want to rotate through your attunements to upkeep quickness or make something work. So if you want to have a low intensity build on Elementalist, I would recommend either the specialized Evoker that you see here, just pressing your fire skills off cooldown, or using Tempest. I have a guide on it as well on my YouTube channel. Low intensity Tempest. It's somewhat low intensity, but if you compare it, for example, to Order Take Only Dragon Hunter, that's not gonna reach it, but still, yeah. Exactly, you use the skills off cooldown and use your F5 when ready. But the important part about the F5 is that the F5, the basic version of it, has no cast time. So always use it when it's ready. And the empowered version, which is your biggest skill, you should use first of all when you have all your weapon skills used, because it resets it by a specific amount. I think it's 10 seconds or something. Yeah, 10 seconds will be recharged the weapon skills. So you want to have all of them on cooldown. And then you should only use it when, or you should fully cast it and not interrupt it, because all your other attacks might interrupt it, because the empowered version actually has a cast time. But other than that, yeah, it's very easy, very easy. But we will get to the, so to say, water camping Evoker in a second. Or in a few minutes, rather. I mean, Orash, even on Orash, Tempest is at that point better, but the burst hits are kind of strong. Yeah, I think the problem in competitive modes is if you lock yourself into water, you have good healing output. But if you get focused, that doesn't help you, because you have no CC on water typically, or almost none. You have no like crazy defensive, like some invulnerability or protection or whatever. It's just healing output and Condi cleanses. So I think it's really good in some situations, but in most situations it's just a bad trait that you would never run in competitive modes, locking yourself in one element that's just leaving like 75% of your attunements just off the table. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. Yeah, exactly. Fresh Air Tempest is fairly low intensity. Yeah, exactly. Just what I just meant. Tempest is surprisingly low intensity because of its rather long cast times. You don't have to spam your skills that often. You just cast them and then wait until the cast is over and go back and repeat. That's true. So let's try it again. And let's see how the damage numbers actually turn out this time with a bit more skills here. And just try to focus a little bit more on the rotation here. And get this out and reset the cooldowns and get this out and reset. And yeah, I mean, it has actually a somewhat high APM. I don't want to like ignore that, to be honest, because yes, I'm spamming my buttons quite frequently here. I can't like deny that. But look at it. It's fun. It's definitely fun. And the damage number, yep, it's high. It's a high damage number. And I'm only camping fire. So every single cooldown that you see here, it is there. You see it. You don't have to like swap off the weapon or swap off the attunement. So I have to be a bit careful. I'm spamming my attacks a little bit too hard so that my pet doesn't get all the value from that. But the damage numbers, you know, just for spamming my buttons, it's a good build, you know. I'm not even trying that hard, yeah. And you see I'm reaching 45k. Good build. Fun and strong. So all the fire wizards out there, you have now a build that you can use. Or even better than the Tempest one, I guess. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Probably not the best solo build though, because you really rely on having those boons. But let's try a solo build now. I really see some kind of solo build being possible with this as well. So let's try a solo build. So we're going to go full Celestial, of course. That's just what we do in solo builds, especially for fire or like dagger thing with scepter. It's just really good. Then we want to probably have some kind of we want strength in there? Probably not. Probably torment is good. Let's see what we can cook up here. You know, I'm trying like to come up with some good builds. Is Fractal a good one here? Probably not. You want to have something with burning? What could we go here for? That's interesting. What is a good one? Rivers is obviously a valid way if you will need to have some dodges. I guess let's go for Rivers because we will not get any alacrity. That much is for sure. Smoldering, of course. And full Celestial. And after this we will also try a little bit in PvP. I have some cool PvP builds cooked up as well. And yeah, for Celestial, looks good, looks good. And do we want some boons? I guess fire is set in stone, that much is for sure. Probably earth is a good one. And go for the... Yeah, we want to have earth, that much is for sure as well. Earth is good. That's good. That's really good. It gives me some healing on top of that. Yeah, I think that looks quite potent, to be honest. Currently when using a healing skill. Is that good? Gain protection when you disable an enemy. That's some protection uptime, I guess. Interesting, interesting. I mean, definitely like something like that looks good. And on top of that, we probably want to have this one for damage and a stun break. Yeah, I mean, that would probably be something like this. We have a lot of burning and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it looks quite promising. Let's see how it goes. And don't forget, we can easily swap into fire all the time because we have the fire familiar equipped. I hate that Embrace of Darkness, the elite from Alex, forces Rev into melee range. It ruins the pleasure if you want to play range with Spear Shortbow. Yeah, I think that's why I was like hoping for Rasa being a Condi spec, or in general like the new Conduit, that the Legend would be a Condi, maybe a bleeding focused Condi spec that has some support capabilities. That was my hope for it. It is definitely not it, but because Malex is like a melee focused, fully DPS Condi spec, I wanted to have some kind of support oriented ranged Condi spec. Because that's completely missing. Yeah, you don't have any legend that supports any ranged combat in like on Revenant. That's just, the legends are always like melee focused. There's no legend that lets you really say play it ranged. Maybe Renegade, maybe Vindicator, but that's about it. And I think that's a little bit sad. So I'm definitely with you there. Malex forces you melee, and that's really sad. But I think it's sorry, it's in my opinion still quite fun to play, especially on Renegade, because the rotation loops so perfectly and it's a really cool, interesting concept. But I'm definitely with you there. I think they missed an opportunity there, for sure. Yeah, you could go for a conjured weapon as well. That would be really fun, but I think that's just in a solo build not really working that well, to be honest. Thanks, Warlock. Really appreciate it. Yeah, more to come. If you have any questions, just let me know. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. If you have no problems pressing your buttons off cooldown and don't care if it's like high actions per minute, then this specialized build that I just showcased with 45k DPS, yeah, that's completely fine. If you have problems pressing buttons because they are too fast, then that might not be for you. But if you just want to have a build that you don't have to understand the rotation of like 50 different steps, this is also good for you because there is no real rotation other than just spamming your skills whenever they come off cooldown. So that's definitely for more players, yeah. Leg Scratch looks easy and fun, definitely. A leg scratch is really fun. I have a guide on it in my YouTube channel as well, actually. It's a little bit older, but still up to date. And Alacrity Scratch is a really good one. It has not the highest or the best damage profile because it, so to say, has not a big burst, but stays quite constant. But it's very strong in terms of defenses. You have barrier, you have cleanses, you have alacrity, of course, while still dealing a lot of range damage. So it's a really safe pick. It's quite easy to learn and really good in a lot of situations, I would say. So good choice there. Yeah. Looking for advice on some not complicated healers, like how is Chrono versus Mirage versus Wilbany. So I would say if you want to have the best healer, Chronomancer it's it. Yeah. But if you want to have a low intensity healer, so to say, I would say Mirage and Willbender actually are better for low intensity healing, but the general like usefulness of it is not as like useful as a Chronomancer. Chronomancer you can pick in any circumstance and it's a really good healer. And it's in my opinion not even that hard to learn. It might have a high skill ceiling, but it has a low skill floor in my opinion. It is not low intensity, but you can just camp your rival and you will be fine. So be sure to check out my long guide on my YouTube channel about Chronomancer and you will see how easy it actually is. There is a lot of stuff in there that makes you a really good Chronomancer and you have to learn that, but to be a decent Chronomancer, that's not too hard to actually reach that point. So if you want to have a very low intensity build, be sure to check out the low intensity Alacrity Willbender. If you want to have a really strong build that is useful in all circumstances, be sure to check out my Chronomancer guide. That's my tip there. Yeah. Yes, you mean in the fire only build? Yeah, I think conjured weapon in a fire only build. Yes, I actually can see that being useful. The thing is in a fire only build. So what would you replace? So you really want to use your Signet of Fire because it's like a really, really high damaging skill. And you really want to use this skill actually because it gives you a lot of burning. It gives you a lot of like burning, a lot of burning. So this is also really good. So you might replace the Firestorm because it has a rather long cast time. But what kind of conjure weapon would actually be decent here? Probably only the Conjured Flame Axe. And to be honest, there is no burning in there. Yeah, this is burning, and the last skill is burning. This is only burning if they pass through it. So you have like two skills that inflict burning, and this one is even moving you. So sadly, there is not a conjured weapon that actually applies condis. Yeah, that's the sad part here. So you lose a lot of like value from picking that over the Firestorm. So it would be ideal if you had a condi based conjured weapon, but sadly you don't, and that's like the end, so to say, of a build like that. That's the sadly truth. I just started tier 4 fractals as Chronomancer and your guide helped me a lot. I'm addicted and looking forward to the harder tiers. Yeah, perfect. That's what I want to hear. You know, Chronomancer is a really good spec and it helps you carry groups. Yeah, it really does. So if you like want to carry your groups, I think that's the build that you should try out. So let's take a look at it. Let's just like use my skills here. And I have no quickness though. But I mean, to be honest, looks quite fun. It's quite fun to play, to be honest. And you see my might uptime is like insane. Would be cool if I could get some quickness in there as well. How can I get quickness that is actually decent number? Because I really feel like if you don't have quickness in a solo build, it feels like a little bit painful. But you know, see, 23k DPS and you have amazing, I'm not joking, you have amazing like cleave, because you can copy all, or not all, but a lot of your burning that you apply to a single target, you copy that to your targets around the target because of this skill. So spreading burn on the foe to nearby enemies. So you transfer 9 stacks of burning to nearby enemies, making that like insane amount of damage. So really, really strong. Let's see if we can maybe swap that build a little bit around, because I'm not sure. I don't get that much value from swapping elements, I have to be honest. So maybe I'm specializing myself into fire and make the very easy fire camping rotation. Let's go for it, I guess. I'm not sure if that's worth it. I don't have that many disables either. Yeah, maybe let's try it with the fire camping one. Let's see how this one goes. I mean, obviously I had the defensive relic on here and still did 23k DPS in a solo build, so quite good. Could go for my aggressive relics on top of that. Yeah, let's try it like that and see how much damage we do. And then we can also check out the healing, because we actually get a decent amount of healing. If we would run this trade, we actually get a decent amount of healing because we spam our familiar skills quite often. But let's see how it goes. And let's see, there we go. That's the burst skill, and then we get another one. Yeah, I mean, it's lower damage, but obviously way lower rotation. Like, maybe it's not that much lower, to be honest. I'm actually increasing it. It's up 20. Maybe we can go up to 23 as well. Would be crazy, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit lower DPS, but it has definitely way easier rotation in this one. I mean, at this point, you could also go focus, to be honest. Maybe then it's even better. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of theory crafting potential here with this spec as well. I mean, Amalgam and this one look quite interesting in terms of like different builds, especially solo builds that I could try here. You set the cooldowns and get this one up as well, and you just spam your skills like crazy. 21k. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I mean, you don't have any, that's the problem, your healing is a little bit lackluster here. If I would dodge, I would obviously get way more alacrity. Maybe that's actually the way to do it. Let's try it with the damaging field. Where is it? Go back. There we go. Moderately threatening. Okay. So what kind of sustain do we have? Not that much, to be honest. That's the sad part. We don't have that much sustain. Yeah, I don't know. That's not that much healing either. So we would drop this. And what could we do here? Let's do it like that and try it. But I, to be honest, I'm not sure if that's like a really good sustained solo build here. I mean, you have decent numbers. I mean, I'm surprised actually. The healing output is higher than I expected, to be honest. It's actually definitely higher. Yeah, it's looks way higher than I actually foresaw, to be honest. You can outlast the moderately threatening in one very easily and have 23k DPS. Yeah, I mean, it's looking good, looking good. You can see how, like, it's still quite easy to play, you know? It's not like I'm, like, completely, like, concentrating like crazy on the rotation. I'm getting 23k if I just press some buttons here. And yeah, it's good. I like it. It's for people that want to have a little bit more. Oh, it reaches actually higher numbers if I play it correctly. 24k now. Yeah, it's good. And a lot of healing output as well, if you want. A lot of burst healing. I like it. It's surprisingly good build. Who would have thought? Evoker is a good one. I was thinking the elite conjure, but swapping elite might not be a good idea. Yeah, that's true. The only elite skill that, or the only conjure that is a good elite skill is like this one. But the problem is this is so good. It summons all the familiars and they use all the empowered skills. So it's a DPS increase, it's a big healing, it's a big defense. So it's like all in one. So yes, I think the fiery greatsword would be a really fun skill, because all of the attacks are good there. So this is a nice power damage, that's a nice power damage, that's a nice power damage, that's amazing burning damage, and that's a nice ranged option as well. But again, there is not that much condi on there. It's just this skill that does a lot of condi damage, and those two skills are just movement skills. So yes, it's good, but I actually think with the long cooldown that it has, 60 seconds on this one, that just looks more promising. I really think so. This is such a good skill. I think that's like the skill that carries it in competitive modes. We will get to that now, but I think this is like really a one that I would use in competitive modes. I really think so. Because 60 seconds in competitive modes is longer, I think, but getting all familiars out, you can see that here. You get first the Earth Toad, so you get this ring here, then you get the healing, which is obviously a really good heal and like protection and cleanses and stuff. And then you get the damage from the fire and the air one. It's just so good. On a 60-second cooldown, I think you can't drop that, sadly. Have you tried a build that doesn't use Scepter? So the problem is, what would I do? You know, what kind of build would I like not use Scepter? Yeah. So the thing is, if I play Condi, the only other option that I would use is Pistol. And there is a build that reaches 60k currently with Pistol. But it's not that easy to play. And I don't like Pistol. I'm sorry, but I don't like Pistol. I think Pistol is not fun to play. I think it's one of the worst weapons in the game. I think it's just not fun. I think it needs a rework. And yes, it's good, but I don't want to try it here because I already know it will reach a high benchmark if I get the rotation perfectly down. And in a solo build, I think Scepter is more flexible because you have healing in there and you have really nice just barrier resistance if you wanted to blast finish and stuff like that. So I think Scepter is really good in a lot of situations. And for a power build, I think again, you could run like a spear, but the problem is that spear is really relying on swapping between all attunements, and you don't really want to go back into another attunement that you just were in. And Scepter doesn't have that problem. And the thing is, you really want to, if you run any kind of power build, you want to have the air familiar, and the air familiar lets you swap into air after every element. So you go fire, air, water, air, earth, air. Yeah. And on spear, that doesn't provide any value because on spear the cooldowns are still there. But if you are going into air while you're on Scepter, your 2 skill is just like very short cooldown, as well as the 4 on the right, the lightning here. They have very short cooldown. So you actually get value from doing that. So I really think the problem is Evoker is really like Scepter focused, you know. Scepter and Pistol are just way better options than, for example, Staff or Spear are, because they have so long cooldowns and they don't really get that much value. The only exception to that rule is if you go for a healing build. So that's what we're gonna try now. I want to try out a healing build. So let's see how we can do that. So we would go probably, let's go for full Harrier. Let's go like, just try it out and see how it goes. Harrier, Monk. Do we go Monk? Probably go Water. We need more boon duration. Maybe. Let's see. And then we want, of course, here, that's the Monk Relic that we want. And we want full Harrier. Probably we don't need full Harrier, but still, let's try it. And we need Water, of course, and probably Arcane. We want to get this for alacrity uptime. And that's obviously a healing trait. That's some nice protection. But it's not, it's only for yourself. That's not good enough, so you want that. Yeah, that's one when you use a healing skill. That's what you want. Then I don't even know if Arcane is the way to go. Water is definitely the way to go with Soothing Power. And this one, Cleansing Wave for some Condi cleanse. And I guess no, it doesn't matter because you will not share the auras. Yeah, I guess that one is good. I don't know, that you see the problem already, you know, you see the problem that you are not as flexible as, for example, a Healing Tempest or Healing Catalyst. So I guess the Geyser one, and then Evasive Arcana. And yeah, that's all of that is not really important because it's only to you, I guess. Something like that. Then you would probably go Staff. Like, staff skills are quite good. Let's see if we can do a staff camping like evoker. But I'm not sure if that's good enough because the boons that you provide are not like very flexible. That's the problem. That's a big problem. That's a nice cleanse and some. Best do we have? The water signet is quite good here. And I guess the blast finisher. And I think we're not going monk. We're going probably Caracosa here. Just speaking my thoughts out loudly here. That's what I do. I managed to do a small Stream Elements donation. I hope it went through. Let's check. Let's check. Yes, thanks a lot. Holy moly, Bobby. That's amazing. Thank you so much. That's not small. That's big. Thanks a lot. I just noticed it. Yeah, I just saw it. I was just so like caught up in the build crafting, theory crafting. Thank you so much, Bobby. I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. That's crazy. Thanks a lot. And don't worry, more videos to come. And yeah, I hope you learn even more and have more fun in the game. That's good. Feels like Evoker is just a DPS or Boon DPS build. Yeah, that's the problem. You know, I will try to make this build work here. You know, Alacrity, Healing, Evoker. I really try to make it work. But you know, look at the boons. I have Alacrity. I have Regen. And I can provide a little bit, or I can provide permanent protection if I on cooldown swap into Earth. So 3 boons that I provide. I can't upkeep Might whatsoever. Like there is no way that I upkeep 25 stacks of Might. That's just not possible. So I fully rely on my allies to do that. I can't do that. And it's just lacking, you know. I don't have Vigor. I don't have like other boons that are useful like Stability, Aegis. That's like completely missing. So it's like, it's a build that can heal. You could play it, but it's just so like not there in comparison to Chronomancer, like all the other builds that are decent. It's just not there. So I will try it, don't get me wrong here, but I don't expect it to be like, they need some help here. Yeah. Started Theorem completion for the Shark Spear now. I'm curious how much it's gonna take me to craft it. I already hate knowing I have to play World vs. World with a Gift of Battle. So Gift of Battle, if you do it with all the boosters and stuff, you need only to like 5 hours or something like that to stand in the World vs. World and just from time to time flip a camp every 10 minutes. So that's definitely something that I would recommend you to like try out. And it's not too bad, 5 hours for 1 Gift of Battle. That's not too bad, I would say. It's only 4 if you do it during a specific event that happens from time to time. And the map completion, I think if you are doing it like first time, it takes 10 to 20 hours or something. It takes a while, but you get 2 of the map completion rewards. So you can craft 2 legendaries with it. So I don't know. I think you will get there and don't worry too much. And don't forget, if you don't want to like do the Gift of Battle at all, you can buy it from the trading post. Not the Gift of Battle directly, but you could buy the whole legendary. So that could be a way to do it. Of course, breaks the immersion, but still, yeah. Yeah, maybe in World vs. World, it could be a support, but the problem is it lacks the flexibility there. Why would you pick this one over a Catalyst? A Catalyst provides like 10 boons, different boons, and healing. And this one here provides healing and 3 boons. Why would you take it? It's just straight up worse in my opinion. But what can I say? What can I say? Yeah. Finally getting to catch your stream. Nice, very good. Yeah, hope you enjoy the stream. So let's take a look at it. Let's see how much boons we can provide to my allies. I also have to spawn a golem though. And let's see how it looks in practice actually. To see how the golem, like in general, how much healing I can do and how many boons I can output. So alacrity is there. And that's it, you know. Protection is there. And I can provide some stability with being on staff. Yeah, and that's pretty much it, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's actually a little bit higher with the protection, stability. I get some swiftness as well. It's not bad, you know. It's actually, there could be, that has potential to be okay. Not lying here. I think it has potential, yeah, to be actually somewhat decent. But look at this, like I can't upkeep my might because I'm just like locked into playing specific traits, and I can't just like get some might out of like thin air. That's just not gonna happen. So I mean, you slowly stack up the might. Maybe you could run with, for example, you could go for which kind of, how is it called? The Midnight King relic. You could go for that one, and I think then it would be able to upkeep Fury as well. Oh, that's a cook. That's a cook. Okay. Midnight. Yeah, then you have Perma Fury, and you probably also have very high might uptime. But you don't have that much CC on staff, so you need some CC. Yeah, this one has CC. Yeah. Maybe this is the way to go. I need some actually things here as well. And transference, and I guess water, whatever. Let's try it like that. I think it's actually not as bad. Not as bad as I thought. Let's also get some quickness down, because obviously we would play that in a group scenario. Very good. Is the locked element evoker a good option? So I tried it earlier with full fire Condi build, and it was really strong. Easy 45k, just throwing your weapon skills in fire off cooldown, it's really strong. But as some kind of support, I don't see it, to be honest. I don't see it as a support. So let's try to get some healing out, and some CC for some Fury, and some... So let's see. I'm really surprised how this works, to be honest. The might is definitely better. But is it good enough? If your ally helps you with it, I guess. But it's I mean, you have obviously permanent alacrity. It's surprisingly decent. I have to be honest. I don't want to lie. It looks actually way better than I expected to look. The protection is obviously something that you have to keep track of like crazy. As soon as Earth comes off cooldown, you have to come back. Otherwise, you will not have enough boon duration to upkeep it permanently. But the boons are okay. Obviously, I'm not even using my elite skill here. Yeah, I think it looks okay. It looks okay, to be honest. Okay, let's try this one more time. But this time, we try it with the maximum damaging field. We try it with this one, and let's see how this one goes now. Not that good, to be honest. I have to press all my buttons off cooldown, and I'm almost dying anytime. Ugh. That's painful. Ah, it hurts. That's, if you don't see it, I'm like very like pressured all the time, and I mean it is somewhat working, don't get me wrong. It's like okay, but it's not the best healing build. It's quite stressful to play. Like if you once like drop down your healing is like gone. Oh, I mean, it's fun. It upkeeps the boons. It reaches 25 stacks of might at some point. I think it's actually better than people gave it credit, to be honest. I really think so. I think the only problem that I have here is I'm forced to trade this trade. This trade is a must. You need this trade, otherwise you can't provide alacrity. Yeah, and obviously, if you're playing a healer in PvE, you want to have this trade. If there is no other option, that's like it. And if you want to specialize in water, you lose the alacrity uptime. So there is no reason to play that. It's only playable in PvP, in World vs. World or PvP. So is there a reason to do that? Maybe. Let's try it. So the air attunement one is... it could work as a power DPS that locks into air attunement, but it doesn't work that well. It's really sadly not. It's really fire or nothing. I will try now this one here. It will probably be really easy to outlast the healing here. So I can just like out heal everything because I spam my heals like crazy. You can see how easy it is for me to heal. But the problem is I have no way of getting any other boons up. Yeah. So it's like, and now I'm dead anyway. It's really like it's not as good as it should be. Yeah, that's the sad part. It doesn't help you that much in a lot of situations. It's really like on fire as a full DPS it works, maybe on air, but the air problem is that the air skills are not as potent as the fire ones. So there are some good ones in there, but they are on a short cooldown, so you don't get that much value from spamming them and resetting the cooldowns. So it's like air is not made for that. You could make some tanky one in PvP with earth, but it's really like, it doesn't feel that great. Yeah, bonk. I got bonked by the damaging field. I think I can actually outlast this. I'm pretty confident here if I play it a little bit better, but it doesn't look that good. The power DPS is really good, but you would not lock yourself. That's the problem. Locking yourself only works with a Condi build or a fire focus build. So power build is currently at I think 58k or something like that as a DPS build. So really high. And the Condi version is at 60k. So it's really strong right now. So let's test it one more time and then let's take a look at PvP. And I'm still obviously on the relic that I was on before. That gave me the Fury uptime and the might. So keep that in mind as well. It's not perfect for that one. I could of course go for Caracosa and would have way more healing output here. But you can see I'm taking so much damage. Because I don't have any protection. Obviously big no-no. If you take a lot of damage and don't have any protection, that's always a big problem. And the region and stuff, that is just not good enough for outlasting a 2.5k damage tick per second. It's just not good enough. I mean, I can outlast it to some extent, but it's even more stressful than the thing before, to be honest. Oh, I almost got out. Yeah, what can I say? Locking yourself is not the way. It's only the way. They need to buff this trade if they want you to lock in a different attunement other than fire. I really think so. And fire only works in PvE. I think in competitive modes, maybe in World vs. World, you can run some kind of support one with blocking yourself in water, but you're so squishy, you know? You have a lot of healing, yes, but if like anything jumps on you, you have no CC, you have nothing. Like, you will die within like 5 seconds, even with your crazy heals. So maybe I can try it in competitive, like go in PvP right now and try some meme support build with this one. But yeah, I don't know if that's the way. I don't know. They need to, this trade is like, it needs some help, I think. It is too all or nothing. It's too all or nothing. So let's see what we can make work in PvP now. Yeah, see you, Veshay. See you. Have a nice evening too. So what can we do now? How can we make this work if you play some kind of support would probably be the Avatar, of course. Kind of relic would you want? That will be painful. I mean, let's I will be going in and say, let's see how it goes. I don't want to be like completely saying this is garbage or something. I will just try and see how it goes. Relic of Rivers, probably Staff. I mean, it's just the way to do it. Staff is like a support weapon. And Rune, probably Dolyak. No, I already have decent vitality, to be honest. I should probably go for Guardian Rune for some more toughness. And of course, Transference for some healing. That will be oof. Energy. I have a lot of Condi cleanses already with the Healing Rain and stuff. So this is the problem. If I use this, I don't have any healing for my allies. If I use this, I could use that to combo a little bit with blast finishers. Is that good enough though? Is that good enough to justify losing a really strong healing skill that also charges my familiar skill? No, I'm not so sure. I think Lightning Flash, you have to take it. That's a stun break as well and cleanses a lot of condis. It's a good skill in PvP. This is a nice repositioning tool. But I already have one. And I don't have the Glyph. Should I go for the Glyph? Let's go full support. You know, I'm supporting. Let's try that. That looks so painful, to be honest. If I win this match, you know, I don't know what's going on at this point. That looks just like if they like have anything on me, like focused on me, it will be like very hard to survive. Very hard. Okay. This could be decent as well. Nah, I don't have that much. Let's see. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to make this work. I think there is some possibility here, but it looks like really like you have like a bit of like things to spam, and then you are like, after you used your cooldowns, this recharges 10 seconds. So if you use my skills like this, only this one will be instantly recharged. All the like 3, 4, and 5 will get 10 seconds off. And I'm like still there and saying, where is my healing? You know, it's like missing. So even if I use my big healing familiar skill, so let's see. Maybe I can make it work, but I really think it's more likely that I will get any like some kind of bunkery earth familiar in there, something like Bruiser spec, or of course a full fresh air or some kind of offensive variant. We will try that of course as well. Let's just try the healing version first and let's see how it goes. As always, if you have any questions, any comments, let me know. Who isn't? Ah, it's boys. Poor boys. Welcome, Snowdrop. Welcome. Just locking myself into a support water evoker. I'm so sorry for my teammates. I'm so sorry. Oh, we have so good players. Haven't seen Squall? Boys? What? Who do we have? Who are we playing against? Maybe this is a match that we still win even though I'm locking myself into water. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Chintu. Ooh, this looks like... Yes, this looks like... Oh, I'm not playing ranked. I'm just like, this is unranked. No one cares if we win or lose. I'm trying my best here. I'm just like limit testing. I want to get the correct lift here though. There we go. So, I have a lot of healing. Don't get me wrong. This is probably the highest healing output build that you can play in PvP. But you have nothing else. I can't swap my attunements. Let's see. I'm trying my best. I don't want to promise anything though. We have another evoker, but this one is playing so like aggressive. So okay. should probably also go for some cap at some point. I have to be honest. Boys is here. We have to get some healing out. I mean, the healing output is good. The healing output, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of passive heals around me. I have a lot of active heals. This is obviously absolute like demolish. I have to be honest. I have so good teammates. 3 extremely good teammates here. This is like challenging by itself to lose this. Doesn't matter which kind of build I'm playing, to be honest. But look at the healing numbers. The healing numbers are good. We don't even take that much damage. But if we take any damage, my teammates are healed instant. It's fun. I think my teammates are like too good to actually make any like crazy like showcase if this build actually works or not. But it looks fun. If they buff this to some extent, make it a little bit more interesting, that I get other like interesting things here on top of that than just my healing skills, maybe you could make that work. I can really spam my skills. That's quite fun if you like really want to spam your skills in one attunement, because that's the one that you enjoy. Then you have to play this build. My teammate is a little bit like 1v2ing here. Or not. Where did the enemy go actually? It just left them. Okay, I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's not a good showcase set before I build. But I mean, I think we win anyway. The waterlogged evoker. Yeah. Good build, you know, carrying hard here. Yeah, definitely. Sadly, the enemy team probably gave up already. That's a little bit sad. I wanted to showcase a nice like healing output with this in a team fight, because I can really see like putting down the crazy heals is probably quite effective in a big team fight. Nice there. Some people here. We have some team fight going on, maybe, if they don't split. They got some burst here. Very good, very good. Where's my teammate? Not here. Sad. No one is dead. No one is like needing any help to heal. So sad. I'm trying my best, but it's not working. There is no one like in the need of healing. Not a good showcase. But easy win for sure. Thanks, Biva. Thanks for joining. And I hope you find some sleep very soon. You know, being awake at this time is not healthy probably. So thanks for joining though. You heard it here first. Only play Water Evoker, everybody. I tried it earlier. It can out-sustain an extremely damaging field in the golem area. So, and you can actually upkeep like 5 different wounds, including like protection, regen, and stuff like that. So it's surprisingly decent, but you can even upkeep Fury and Might if you do it correctly, or at least 15 Might or something. So it's not that bad, but it feels like it misses something. I think the trade is a meme trade. It really is. It really is. No, we lost the player. Oh no. Or Evoker. Can I get the res here in time? Probably not. I'm too slow because I don't have anything else. Then I can't give myself quickness. Oh no. Let's help, boys. Let's help, boys. Maybe I can get the glyph so that my glyph gets any value. Okay. Yes, boys. Yeah, he lies. No, they got the interrupt. Oh, no. I was too slow. Waterlogged Evoker is too weak. Too much. You know, boys is dead. I can't survive then. It's so bad. Don't play this. It's really bad. It has no like utility. You have healing and that's it. You have no movement speed. You have no CC. Yeah, that's like just like what are you doing? If I'm like on the other side of the map, I just can't get there in time. It's just impossible. Look at my movement speed. It's just ooh. No, it was so close though. Give me the rest here. Nice. Can't get this. Now we are grumbling, you know. Now we are like falling apart. Ah, the healing. Sad. Could have worked. It's not heal chrono. Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's definitely not. And it's also not heal troubadour. So can't be good though. That's the problem. Yeah, Paragon is better there for sure. I mean, don't get me wrong, Tether Tank. This is definitely a build that is like meme territory. This is not a real build. In any game mode, I would not recommend it. Heal Paragon upkeeps 11 boons in PvE and has insane healing. So why would you ever play that? Anything that is not doing that, why would you play anything else? It's just like, it's just not working. Get some, oh, they put it out in time. I mean, the healing output, if I don't get focused, is actually surprisingly high. I have to be honest, it's really high. But that's about it. That's like the only thing that you can do, and that's not good enough for competitive mods. Let's go for some decap here and not feed too much. Walker feels like I'm back in 2012, screaming at the core elementalist to leave water already. Yeah, it feels really like this is a class for people that, especially the locked trait, but even if you don't lock yourself in one attunement, even then it feels like a core elementalist with an extra button that makes your gameplay not as fast-paced as, for example, the, what is it called? So how long can I sustain against the DPS build? I mean, I have a decent amount of healing. It's surprisingly high, the healing output. Holy shit, that was a nice combo. Yeah, waterlogged elementalist. Yeah, needs some help. I mean, at 50% team healing, it has to be good, you know? It has to. What are your thoughts on the new elementalist elite spec for Necromancer? I think it is fun for people that like minion monster specs. I think it misses a little bit the... I don't know, it misses a little bit of... I don't know, just I'm not a big fan of pets in Guild Wars 2. And I think it really forces you to play pets. And I think the class fantasy is not my favorite, but I think the gameplay loop looks fun. I think it needs some help in terms of numbers. In PvE, in competitive modes, it's really strong. So I would say, in general, I'm happy with it, but it's not my favorite spec of the 9 that we got. I think it's in the middle, somewhere in the middle. Not the worst, not the best. That's my takeaway, yeah. What's the weakest new spec in your opinion? Minus the Conduit? Yeah, I'm with you there. I think Conduit, I have not tested Luminary so far. It will come tomorrow. But for me, Conduit looks the worst. Not in general, like the number, the DPS number in PvE is surprisingly decent. But how it feels, the flexibility, just the general gameplay loop just feels lacking, yeah. And I hope that they improve on that. Maybe give it some boons, maybe give it even another F skill. That would be my preferred choice, but who knows what they can do. I'm not sure. I'm with you there. I think Conduit needs some help, yeah. Okay, now let's try some kind of tanky Earth Evoker. I really wanted to try that. And what can we do here? I think that looks quite good if I'm specializing in the Toad. Toad one, yeah. Is that also a stun break? Yeah, it is. So what do we want? This skill is obviously set in stone. This one as well. I guess lightning flash as well. Is it dagger or is it hammer? What do you think? It's definitely... Dagger looks decent. Dagger looks decent. Because you always can swap to earth, so your earth skills actually have a lot of value. You have short, maybe earth. It could be hammer as well, to be honest. Both of them are fine. Let's try it first with dagger and maybe try it later with hammer. We will see. I want to play a bruiser type of playstyle. So what is good here? Reverse Relic is surprisingly decent as well on that one. I will probably go for bruiser. If you play dagger, you could play even some kind of Condi variant with Sage Amulet if I really wanted to. But I think it's better to go for something more defensive like Demolishers or something like that. We will see. I'm not sure. Yeah, exactly. Lock me in. That's a good one. That's a good one, Snowdrop. Yeah, Luminary looks also quite dull. I think it has more build variety than Conduit, which is not that difficult, to be honest, because Conduit only has one build that is good, Condi DPS, in my opinion. And some kind of power build if you really wanted to in competitive modes, but I don't count that really, to be honest. It needs some help. And Luminary looks a little bit boring at the first glance, but it has more build variety than Conduit. So I will try it out tomorrow and give you my final thoughts on that tomorrow. But for now, I would say it doesn't look like that good either, so I think it needs some help there as well, but it's at least a little bit more interesting than Conduit to me. I really think so. Which one seems the most fun to play for PvE? I think Amalgam looks amazing in PvE. I would also say that I'm quite surprised how fun, like... Yeah, I personally think Gale Shot is very good. I like Gale Shot Amalgam. Those are like really nice. And I think Troubadour, I was quite surprised how much I like it, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the class fantasy. I think in PvE it's really good. So I will probably play a lot of Troubadour after the expansion releases just because it will be strong. Yeah. So let's look how can we do that? Probably energy cleansing. What else do we want here? Always energy cleansing in PvP. And then what kind of rune do we want? I guess let's do it like this. I have not enough damage to actually make anything here work. I'm just tanky. I don't have any sustain, so I really have to go higher. Heretics Amulet? No. I guess Marauder Amulet. Yeah, let's try it like this, but I have really, I need protection uptime. I get protection when I use my Earth Familiar skill. That's at least something. I'm just cooking at this point, to be honest. It's more protection. I have a lot of CC, to be honest. Maybe the way is Earth with air. Do you have a lot of CC in the kit? And you annoy them a lot? I don't know, maybe this is the way, but looks very aggressive and you have not a lot of sustain with it without water. That's the problem. Yeah, exactly. Breaking out of the chrono jail to like notice that you're actually in a bigger jail, which is called the Mesmer jail. And you can't break out of that one, apparently. Yeah. We could be... The problem is Spear is a weapon that locks you into power. Yeah. And Spear could be decent, to be honest. I actually could see some Earth Evoker playing with a Spear. But the problem is, Spear only gets a lot of value if you have a really bursty traits on top of that, like Arcane and Air. That's the way to do it typically. And if you want to play some kind of TOT playstyle, where you really want to have something that makes you tanky as a side note spec, I'm not sure if you want to have a ranged weapon. That's the thing. If you're playing on a side note, having a ranged weapon means that you either have no value of having a ranged weapon because you are standing on the node and you are in melee anyway, or you standing off node and you can't contest the node in PvP with the ranged weapon. So I think it's not the ideal choice as a side noder typically. So that's why I think hammer or dagger seems a little bit better suited. What else could we go for? This one got nerfed. I think that's to be honest, that one got nerfed, but it's really good because I can actually spam that, because I can always attune to earth like all the time, like every second. I can upkeep this quite easily. It's actually really good. I have to be honest, I have to take that. I have to take that trade as well. That's also quite good. Some resistance. So what else do we need? Water heals, whereas this one is really annoying. Yeah, I think water is better, to be honest. Maybe not. Maybe water is not better. I think it's arcane. We have to go for arcane. This is just such a good one. It's really good. Get the block here. Get some vigor, I guess. Yeah. What do we have here? The shield gives me stability when I use it. And then maybe instead of the cantrip, we use this one on top, because it gives an immobilize. Yeah, I think that's like the way to do it, to be honest. Like going full aggressive in arcane, but going full defensive in earth and having some kind of like mixed bag here. Yeah, I think a lot of protection uptime. Yeah, I think that could work. Let's try it like that. Let's try it like that. Probably complete failure, but we will see. Can't be worse than the waterlogged one. Let's see how it goes. I'm used at the class that I like and play the most to disappoint me. It's fine. I would say the classes that are currently bad in the beta in terms of numbers are the ones that are actually I might be a hot take, but I think the classes that currently have bad numbers, like Luminary, like Conduit, like even Evoker to some extent with waterlogging and stuff like that, I think those are very likely to have really good numbers when they come out, because they don't know exactly how to balance it correctly, so they would rather overbuff it than like making it too bad. So I think Luminary and Conduit, for me, they get some big reworks how they work in terms of like boons and like damage numbers and stuff. So I actually predict especially Conduit to be surprisingly good when it comes out, because the criticism is always like give some more boons, give some more flexibility and stuff, and I can really see that being like taken close to their chest and saying, okay, we will do that, really, we will fix that. So I can actually see that happen, to be honest. I really think so. Let's see if I'm right. Maybe you like clip that here and I will be completely wrong and Conduit will be even worse than before. We will see, but I actually expect it to be quite good. Yeah. But we will see. I'm just like at this point trying out different specs, and it's a beta event, you know, it's not perfect. So don't make it like this is the thing that will be like the only way and that will stay there like that forever. This is not how it's gonna work. You know, there will be, it's there for testing. If something is underperforming, if something is completely broken, they will fix it. That's why there is a beta event. Keep that in mind. And I'm having my full like trust in them that they will do that, because every single time there was a beta event before with the lead specs, there were some big issues with specific classes and they fixed them. For example, Untamed looked really bad in the beta event. It was really boring. It was like a core ranger with like like really weird specific mechanic, and they fixed it, gave it ambush skills on top of that. They were really strong, made it really broken in competitive modes, even in PvE. We had the Fervent Force trade. There was a lot of cool things that came with after the beta, so don't like be sad. There will be big changes coming to the classes that are underperforming. I really think so. I hope they make Spear OP on Conduit, because I'm crafting it now. I think Spear is a weapon they will never completely ignore, like making it like completely power grab by something else, because Spear is a selling feature for Chancevals. So in their financial interest, it's always worth it to make Spear a good choice. Not necessarily the best choice in every single game mode, but I never see a world where Spear is a weapon that is like not used at all on a specific class. They would instantly buff it. I really think so. So we will see if that's like, if that's like the case for the next expansion already, or if it takes a little bit longer until they want to like power creep the game even more. But right now, I really think the spears are not very likely to get nerfed or being not the best. I really think so. I think spear, especially on Revenant, is a really good weapon because it like really has all what you want. CC, damage, range. What else do you want? It's just perfect. It's a perfect Condi weapon for all game modes. So definitely see that one. Yeah, exactly. In my opinion, stuff that is overpowered is a little bit less like good to play right now because you might get nerfs for it. But if you play something that is not overpowered, then it's actually, in my opinion, even safer to do that. Oh, they have a lot of Condis. That's not too good for me though. Leave me alone. It's actually, I have to be honest, it's fun. I have to be honest. It's actually fun. The Toad. It's the gameplay. It's it. No, they got me. They got me. Yeah, exactly. Become one with it. Yeah, I did not play that good, to be honest. I could have played that so much better. But it's also sad that I'm fighting against the burning luminary. Come on. You know, I'm having the perfect build against the power build, but I'm fighting against the only burning guard in the whole game. Oh my god. No, that's always like little bit of an issue if we have like small Condi cleanses all the way. That's an interesting breach, I have to be honest, my friend. That is like one of the worst breaches I have ever seen in PvP. Breach on node is disgusting, but if you put a breach not on node, it's like no one cares. You know, you can just walk out of it. the Earth Toad is so annoying. It's so annoying. Oh, the Troubadour is here to help. Very good. Maybe air is the way to go. I'm not sure. I have a lot of CC in my kit. I actually do. There we go. And CCing, immobilizing. And oh, it has a block. 3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah, I think that's I believe that. Can you cook a full water build? I was just playing a full water build. So I will do a video about Evoker and it will be in there. But you can also just watch the VOD. I was just doing a full water healing build. And now I'm testing some kind of bruiser build. And maybe later I will test some really aggressive air Evoker. Oh, that was an annoying one. There's my team. Completely lost on close. Well, I guess then we will go there. I'm not a team fighter, but my team is like not letting me like playing alone. I'm not sure if I can help this person. Ooh. Nice CC chaining. Emob. Nice. Yeah, that was good. Maybe I'm a team fighter after all. It's so crazy that those evoker skills are instant cast. Not the empowered ones, but the normal ones. It's actually disgusting. This one is like instant cast days, instant cast barrier. That's so annoying. It's actually insane. An instant cast days? What the fuck? That's like one of the most annoying things I can imagine. Like an instant cast days on a like no cooldown. So you can spam your skills, get it? and use it like after 3 seconds again. Ooh, that's just annoying. It's just annoying. So I think you could easily make that run with air as well and use this trait that gives permanent weakness, so you get almost no power damage. Interesting, very interesting. The Toad is a strong one. The Toad is very strong. Honestly, nearly all new specs are bad design in my opinion. Elite specs are supposed to change up the class, and 70% of the new specs are core plus or just copying the gimmick from another existing class. I'm not sure. I would say to some extent you could make that argument, but I think, for example, look at Tempest, look at Reaper. I think they are somewhat like core Necromancer, core Elementalist with a plus. I mean, that's just an elite spec. I would say you might be right that some of them feel boring and others feel a little bit better. That might be true to some extent, but I would definitely say that it heavily depends what you expect from an elite spec. Maybe the weapons were something that actually were way more interesting and made the class a little bit more like working in that sense. CC and stability. It's so fun. But maybe you're right. Maybe they seem a little bit less cooked. I don't know. And damage. Yeah, I'm not sure. I hope I will judge after the expansion releases and I give my full like analysis of how they tuned it and how they changed it. Currently, we only have the beta version of it. Maybe they give some more work into it and more cooks, and maybe it works better. For example, Conduit, I can definitely see some improvements there that make it feel better than Core Revenant Plus. But yeah, I think they will not change like crazy gameplay mechanics that already exist. I really don't think so. Like, for example, if you don't like the Antiquary design, I think that will stay like that. I really think so. That was fun, surprisingly fun. The change from Core Ranger to Druid to Soul Beast was actual innovation. Yeah. Okay, so you would correct yourself to say it's not bad, but lazy. That one I would say is a little bit more. Yeah, I would agree with that one. Yeah, it seems like it's not as like completely game changing in terms of UI or how crazy evolved those specs are. Yeah, if you, for example, Revenant is a bad example because I think Revenant never had crazy good elite specs. But if you look at other classes, for example, Firebrand changed the playstyle of Guardian like insane. Yeah, Firebrand changed it to another level, and Core Guardian is completely different. I mean, at some point you run like a Core Guardian support instead of a Firebrand because Firebrand was just not useful in competitive modes, or at least in PvP. So definitely you are right there. There were the actual gameplay changes or how the class changed in like crazy amount. Yeah, I think that's not as much, but to be honest, maybe the resources, the scope of this expansion is lower. It's still a yearly expansion. So I would say it is okay if they bring out elite specs that are not as game-changing as some that had like 4 years of cooking. Yeah. So I think that is, in my opinion, okay if they are still fun to use. And in my opinion, like at least 7 of them are quite fun to use. Some of them need some like a little bit more time in the oven, so to say. But I would say it's okay to have specs that are not as crazy game-changing as others, because at some point you have to say, okay, I don't know how I want to change the game without making the class feel completely alienated. Yeah, that's at least my take. Yeah, Queensdale takes a while. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun, to be honest. Maybe we will try this build again, because to be honest, that was a really good build. I need some more Condi cleanses though. I really lack some Condi cleanses. Where can I get some Condi cleanses? Nowhere, I guess. I mean, you could drop this if you really wanted to. And get some Condi cleanses from Leap Finisher or Combo Field Finishing. You have a lot of Combo Fields and Leap Finishers. Maybe that's the way. Is there some kind of Condi Cleanse relic? Because that's the way to do it. Having a Condi Cleanse relic. That's a meditation. That doesn't help me. Is there some kind of... Isn't there some kind of barrier relic that gives you... what could it be? I'm not sure. I was not connected when you test the full water healing build. So in a few words, what's the results? So if you go and lock yourself into water and PvE, you can make a build with it that has surprising amount of healing and a decent amount of wounds, but I would not recommend it. It's just straight up worse than Tempest and Catalyst as a healer. That's the sad part. In competitive modes, it's just a meme build. It is, as soon as you get focused, you die instantly. You have a lot of healing, but you have no utility. You have no movement skills. You have nothing. You have no CC. So I think the water locking or full water healing evoker is only working in PvE, and to some extent, it is not the best there either. So I would say Evoker with the locking trait here especially needs some help, and I think the boon access in PvE is also a little bit lackluster. I made it possible to upkeep Fury, Might, Protection, Regeneration, Alacrity as a healing build. Protection, if I didn't say that. So it was possible to be played as a healer, but it was just way more effort than I would have just played Tempest, pressed one button and had 5 boons and had the healing output as well. So Evoker needs some help in terms of like water tuning, and this trait also needs some tuning. I think this trait is in competitive modes absolutely a meme. You will never run this, never ever. I mean, I have some condic lenses with the familiar. I actually think it's fine. I actually think it is fine. Heal allies when you grant them regen. Healing is increased if you have the auto. It's so little amount of healing. You would never run that. Yeah, I think that's fine. Leave it like that. Let's try the build again. I think it's quite fun. Maybe we can get a nice 101. I tried Luminary and it just feels clunky and bad to just go into the Shroud to get a buff. Yeah, I think a lot of builds rely on getting into Shrouds, using one skill and going back out. And I think that's a boring gameplay. I really hope they improve on that, because that feels to me it's like something that is just very uninteresting, not very unique, you know. I want to have a build that is really like interesting, that the Shroud is the core concept, not something that gives you damage buffs and that is. So hopefully we'll get something like that and some reworks there, so I definitely have my hopes up for Luminary and Conduit. Those two are my biggest hopes there. I love your fishing guide, but I kind of confused about after got the fish. What should I do after to make that gold? So every single fish that is not rare, I would consume, and then you get the fish things, so the fish fillets, which you then can sell. That's the gold that you get there. Oh no, we don't get the damage. I will just go far at this point. My team is dying at mid. Yeah, so every single fish that you get, except rare fish, you just consume and get the materials that you then can sell, and you get gold. That's the whole thing. The rare fish you turn in at fishing vendors, for example in Arborstone, for 1 ambergris per day. So you can save up all the rare fish that you have, and you will get ambergris, I think it's called, and this is worth like roughly 1.8 to 2 gold, something like that. It's so good. It's so good. So let's look at it. Let's like try to play against this really strong build right now, which is the, how is it called currently, the, no, please don't, I want a fair fight here. Please don't outnumber me. Huh? Look at this. It's, how annoying is this? Tank Evoker. You will never get the point. So much stability. There should be an interrupt counter. It's like there is like everything interrupts on my bar. The infinite 101. Do I not have the point? I have the point because it's not showing on top, but I have the point, it's ticking. So there's that at least. I was wondering if I don't have the point, that would be like a very bad 101, but I have the point, so it's actually like worth it. We did it! Insane. It's too good, this build. You know, it's too good. Almost no healing because I took no damage because I have permanent barrier. It was like the wet noodle playstyle. That's just annoying. Hate the toad? It's so good. The toad is like, deluxe. Three, two, one. Okay. Maybe, I'm not sure if the lead skill or the healing skill rather is the best one here. I'm not completely sure with that one. Oh, how many thieves have to come to me to actually get the kill here? So good. Oh, you are in a trouble. You are in trouble, my friend. No, they got me with the sword buff. You needed 2 thieves for that. Oh no. It's an annoying build to fight. I deal no damage if I don't get the CC combo. Yeah, the casual thief enjoyer, yeah. The casual thief is like 2 thieves outnumbering the Todd. I mean, we still push far again, you know. That's what I do, you know, and just annoy them. But it's a good spec. To be honest, I see that being used. I might not be a meta build, but I think that is a decent build. I really think so. If you tune a bit with the Condi cleanses and general like usefulness, I actually think you're really annoyed to fight this. Yeah, if you just put it in a side note and decap and then just fight forever there, I think you get value with it. Might not be the most fun playstyle because you might not win any 101s, but it looks good. Yeah. Leap finisher sounds exactly like something a Todd would do. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it is actually somewhat like the class fantasy. It's actually quite fitting. What is this? Oh, the thief is coming as well. That's not good. It's a Condi build. Oh my gosh. What is this? Condi mace on a druid. What? Oh my god. It was just annoying, you know, they had like 10 Condis on me that... Oh. We could have won this 101 against this guy, I think. Very sad. Not a good showcase if the Condi Druid like annoys me and the thief snipes me from 1000 range. I want to get a fair 101 and see if this build actually can win 101s. Let's see, maybe this time the Druid actually... No, they just want to get the shield buff. I guess that's fine for. Let's leave them there. A shroud will be Black Reapers? Yeah, exactly. I think a shroud should be something where you actually want to be in and not want to just go in and get a buff and go back out. I think a shroud should be something that you should aim for big burst damage and stay in there for as long as possible and go back out. I think that's how it should be. I agree. Ritualist stands no chance against the Toad? Yeah, the Toad is too strong. You know, they can't summon a Toad, so why would they actually have a chance against me? Oh, the fucking Thief is back. You know, I can't fight against the Thief because it has 1200 range. How can I deal with that? I'm not a Catalyst. A Catalyst would be just making the aura, and you would be good. But, oh my god. How many people are here? So sad. I can't get a fair 101, but I mean, it's a good build. What can I say? Good build. Have you tried any Spear Evoker builds? I saw some in PvP that they looked really strong. I have not tried it yet, but to be honest, I think Spear is not the perfect build for Evoker. I think Spear Catalyst is just straight up better. I think Spear Evoker, we can try it in the next match. I will try some aggressive Evoker. And maybe I try it with Spear and I will showcase it a bit. But I think the problem is that Spear is just very strong on a Catalyst where you have some defenses in the trade line. And on Evoker, I think the really big gimmick is that you can always swap into Earth if you have the Toad. You can always swap into Water if you have the Otter. And that kind of stuff. And Spear does not really value that. Yeah, you don't get any value from going into an element all the time because your cooldowns are not up. If you're playing Dagger, if you play Scepter, you have way shorter cooldowns on those like elements or all the weapon skills. So it's just straight up way smarter choice for like in general for just getting the weapon skills all the time. You know, the synergies between the traits and the weapon is just higher. So that's the whole reason why I would say it just might not be that good. Yeah, I mean, was fun. Is there a permanent Shroud Necro build? Yes, there is. I actually have that on my YouTube channel. You can just look on my YouTube channel for permanent. Just search on my YouTube channel, you know, in my channel homepage, and then you look for permanent, and then it should come up. Permanent is permanent Shroud or something, and there is a build for PvE where you can camp the Shroud. I just made a video about it like 1 month ago or something. Yeah, it's surprisingly fun. Yeah. Okay, so let's try the other one. I think I saw a Spear running Toad as well with constant protection. That makes sense. Yeah, I thought about running Spear with the protection, but the problem is like, again, that protection on a weapon that is like very aggressive does not make you survive. You saw I'm surviving because of my CC, about my annoying with the barrier and the immobilize. On Spear, you just don't have that to that extent. So that's the problem that I see there. But I will try it. I will try Spear now and see how it goes. And maybe I can make it work. Maybe. Just maybe. But don't expect too much. Don't expect too much. I'm also not sure if I would run the Earth one, to be honest. I think the Air one is a little bit better. Because you have... This is amazing. This has an insane burst potential. So let's run Spear. Let's run Arcane, of course. Arcane. And... maybe Fire? Is Fire the way to go? No, I think Air is better. I think Air is the way to go. Because you get the super speed when you are tuned. Yeah. I think that's the way to do it. And then what utility skills do you want? You have the Air one, so you want the Air one for the stun break. You want the Lightning Flash. And you want this one. Or do you want the Lightning Flash? Probably you don't. This one is really good. Maybe you want this one. And this one maybe? No. This is also really good. Don't have a... yeah, I mean, you have a water field here. Yeah. I think this one is better. Yeah, maybe let's try it like that. That's really offensive. Let's try it like this. Do we want this one? I guess this one is better than this one. Yeah, that's Condi Train. I have a lot of CCs. Maybe I want that for the protection. Yeah, I guess that's even better for some more protection uptime. Yeah. I see that build being worthwhile running. Yeah, that's good. You see how much I can swap to Air and therefore get all the time the super speed. But the problem is, again, I think it would be better if I would be running Scepter Focus or Scepter Dagger or something, because the weapon skills just align better with that. But I will try with Spear and see how this one goes. I will try it. Have you done any Ritualist builds? No, Ritualist and Luminary are the last two classes that I have not tried like very deeply. I will do them tomorrow in the stream. So if you want to see them, today I will end with this one. And tomorrow I will do Luminary and Ritualist. But don't worry, if you can't join, it's not a big deal. You can either watch the VOD on YouTube or Twitch. And you can of course also wait for my video where I summarize them as well. But every single class will be covered on YouTube as a video as well. So we will see that. And I will also do some kind of summary of all of them, of course, and see how it goes. And if I changed my opinion after all. test this and stuff. So we have again, who is this? Full beta, like, no, this is a core. Who plays core? That's like, what? That's illegal. During the beta event, who plays a core necromancer? Okay. We really want to team fight and we really want to stay like at 1000 range or something and really like just snipe them. Let's see if that's like going to work. They don't have too much like going on. They have almost no one that can push on me, like except maybe the Sir Disgusting. But that's about it. We will see. I think that might be a good showcase video actually. Or showcase match. I do Tethered Tank. I do actually. Yes. I have 39-hour job. Yes. So I'm actually doing quite a lot on the side for streaming. But my hope is that I can do at some point do this like full time. So that's the idea. I'm putting a lot of effort in, if you can imagine. I have tested Amalgam and it looks like very strong in all game modes. It's very fun as well, so give it a try if you like. And more concise notes on that in my coming video as well. I expect Ritualist Minion Master is going to be a thing. Yeah, I think so too. I think it will be actually decent. It might not be the absolute best build for it, but it will definitely be working to some extent, for sure, for sure. Core chat? Yeah, I think if you play, I think they swapped, yeah. I think if you play a core necromancer during the beta event, you are like really like, you really want to suffer or make the enemy suffer, because the core necromancer is like a decent spec for ranked, but I think Ritualist feels like a core necromancer anyway, so why would you not play that? Because you don't even have to have any expansion. So let's try free casting and try to be really safe. How did that pull me? There is this guy. Oh my god, this guy's playing actually. That's insane. Spectral Grasp in PvP. That's next level. So many people here. Holy shit, damage. This guy is so dead. This guy is dead. Everyone is dead. And we can go there. And I mean, the damage potential, you can see how much damage I push out. You know, the damage is actually really good. I mean, it's a spear. Obviously, spear does a lot of damage. But I really like the air hair. It's an instant cast attack that is really annoying. It does a lot of damage. Yeah, it does like, how much does it? Like 2 to 3k or something, and an instant cast attack with 900 range. It's annoying. And you can spam that quite often. It's like every 5 seconds or something. It's good. I like it. I mean, I don't get focused in this match, so I guess that's why I can free cast. But if I get focused, I think the pain begins. The pain begins. So let's go on some CC here. The tree was in the way. Oh no. No, they were invulnerable. No, 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 no. Oh my god, that's a Condi. Who plays Condi here? Yeah, they get the rest. No, I'm dead again. Who plays Condi? That's actually insane. Someone played Condi here and I get like... Nice, we got it. One of the enemies plays like full Condi and I'm having almost no Condi cleanse in the build. So, not a good time for me to fight against those. There's this enemy. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, it's again the Condi guy. Oh my gosh. Who plays Condi? That's just like, what? It was too much. The Condi pressure. Ah, this guy plays Condi. That's Condi Pistol Evoker. That's like a cook. That's crazy. Look at this. Like 50k damage from burning. Okay. Is this guy... No, he's not playing like... Interesting. That's like people are cooking. It's crazy. What time will you stream Luminary tomorrow? Same time. So like in... Typically I will start in like 21 hours. So whatever time zone you're in, 21 hours I will start with the Luminary stream. And then I will go to Ritualist as the last class that I want to showcase on stream here. Nice, we got this kill. And the tree is like, did you see? The tree was really annoying me there all the time. Welcome, Prototoxin. Welcome to the stream. Having fun with some beta testing here and just I'm trying some different new specs, how it goes, how they look. There's this guy. Okay, I think that's like a one-on-one that I can take. Oh, they're running away. So in conclusion, the Todd is annoying, the hair is annoying, water is annoying on itself, and fire is dropping your IQ by 30. Something like that, yeah? I think the water one is actually like, this is like the Giga Chat move. If you're going for the water locking, that is like, ooh. But I think the air one is like really like, the air one is like, you can't dodge that one. You know, it's like an instant cast. Look at this, 5k damage from an instant cast or from an like almost instant cast attack. It's really annoying. It's just annoying. Okay, they don't want to fight me, I guess. Okay, that was a lot of burst. They're playing power with a greatsword. Okay, I did not expect that. I guess that's fine. Power ritualist with a greatsword. Everyone is cooking today. So of all the storylines, which is, in your opinion, do you like the best? I want to try something other than human. Oh, that was like over a decade ago when I last played any like core story. I think the Sylvari storylines are not bad. I think that's a little bit of a different take to general like fantasy MMOs. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Guild Wars 2 story. I think they are like okay, but not like crazy. So let's focus a bit more on the oh, the CC chain was good. That was a good CC chain. Congrats, that was good, well played. They just locked me in this permanent CC there. Yeah, they're playing the air one as well. Like, look at this. The Todd one, yeah, that's a good cook. I like that one. That's the Todd one with the lightning rod. That's the build. Yeah. I should have seen that one. That's way better. You have way more CC and you can play spear anyway. Yeah. That's the build. That's the build. Really good cook. I like it. Well played by this guy. Probably not gonna win in the match, but anyway. In my time, it's on... I will start at 8 p.m. CEST. So that is just what I will start. I don't know what time zone you are in. CEST 8 p.m. There we go. We got the counter kill. Power Ritualist with a greatsword? You mean Reaper? No, they actually played Ritualist with a greatsword. It looked like they wanted to play Reaper, but they were in the beta test character and thought, oh, I have to play Ritualist. Because they really wanted to roleplay as a Reaper. I don't know why you pick something like Ritualist and say, oh, I want to play a Reaper. But I guess everyone can cook up their own builds. That's just how it goes. Nice, we got them. There's another one coming. This is the aggressive one. I have to be careful. It's better one-shot this guy. You can jump a bit around. 5k. That hit quite hard for a CC skill, I have to be honest. Yeah, the CC chain is too much for me. Can't handle that. Sad. All chefs don't cook equally. Yes, that is true. That is true. Some people have crazy cooks that work. Some people have crazy cooks that are just overcooked. That happens. Same goes for me, of course. I always wonder what's your account rating, worth, and efficiency. You inspired me, and I'm actually on a big grind to get at least 1 million. Yeah, I have 1 million account value pretty much exactly, and I'm like 100 something. So it's like between 100 and 200. It's always like depending on the current like value of the items. It's always like changing all the time. So yeah, it's decent. The number is like 1 million. It's not the highest, but it's decent. And yeah, the rank is something between 100 and 200 depending on the current value. Yeah, that's the answer to the question. Is it even worth to lock in one element on Evoker? I would say it's not. I think it's the only reason why you would just lock yourself is in PvE if you want to have a low intensity build. That's the reason. But it's always better to not lock yourself. I think there is not a single build that would say it's better if you would lock yourself than if you would not. So I really think they should tune the numbers here on this, maybe change a little bit around how it works, because it's not worth it in competitive modes ever. And in PvE, it's only worth in Fire on a Fire Scepter build that uses only Condi damage. That's the only way you can make this trade really good. So definitely needs some improvement. Is there a big cap to the top fish? No, you can do that as much as you want. There is no cap. Yes. Part of the core system reworks should be a skip button when, yeah, that would be like skipping dialogue in Guild Wars 2. That is unskippable. That would be like one of my most requested features. I'm so with you, Snowdrop, so much. I hope to see you continue the weapon for each class videos. Those were really informative. I actually made all of the classes already. So the weapon ones are done. So I have analysis for all the weapons for each class. And I now currently slowly continue with the traits. So I did the Mesmer traits, the Mesmer core traits, and I will now continue with, for example, Elementalist and all the other classes. And at some point I will also go to the Elite Specs traits. But it takes a while because you can see currently is the beta event going on, so I have something else on my mind, but it's on my to-do list. Yes, that's a really cool series. I think not a lot of people have the knowledge to always talk about all the different specs, all the weapons, all the like traits and stuff. So I think it's a really cool discussion series, and I will definitely continue with that, don't worry. Can you recommend me a hybrid support damage build that can self-sustain? You mean in competitive modes or in PvE? Because in PvE, all support builds can self-sustain, of course. And in competitive modes, it's like typical support builds don't deal any damage in competitive modes. That's just how it goes. They are focused too much on healing. In PvE, you can play Celestial builds. Like Celestial Tempest comes to mind, Celestial Scourge comes to mind, Celestial Firebrand. Those are really good. They can deal damage, have nice boon capability, and have some healing in the kit. So it's like a very flexible thing. So that I would recommend those. I have, like, if you scroll down in the YouTube stream, there is a link to a spreadsheet where I have all my builds listed, and you can just check them out there. And there are all the Celestial builds that I have there as well. But other than an offensive supporter that can self-sustain, I would say maybe Herald is a good one. Maybe Scourge is a decent one. Those would be my top picks because they have some self-sustain in the kit if you really want to have high damage and be an offensive supporter, not a healer. But other than that, typically in PvE, it's like if you want to play a self-sustaining build, you go Celestial. And that's about it, because like typical PvE builds are either full damage or full healing. You typically have always a healer with you if you're full damage build. And if you want to solo, then you use a solo build. Yeah, so it's like there is a clear spread or a clean like threshold where you say, okay, I'm alone now, so I definitely want to play a solo build that can have some self-sustain, and this is a completely different build than I would run in a party. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, so and with that, I think I will also end today's stream. It was really fun. I had a blast. It was really cool. Hope you enjoyed it. I wish you a very nice evening, and I hope to see you tomorrow for the last day of my beta testing. Yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel, and yeah, what can I say? Wish you a very nice week if we don't see each other this week again. Thanks a lot for watching. See you around. Yeah, Cassianos will be higher. That is true. See you, Teddy Tank. See you, everyone. Take care.